And welcome everybody to No Frills, because this is open mic night here on the Jeff Meacham Network and also in the Cussing Studios. We're on JJ Channel tonight. So we're live now, so we can go take the stupid banner off because, yeah, we're already live. So anyway, looks like it's going to be a low-key kind of night, and I'm okay with that because we can get through topics and allow people to come in and talk about whatever else they want to talk about tonight. So joining me in studio, one of the guys who helped conceptualize this with me, it really was off the cuff, on the fly, after I think it was Turning Point, if I remember right, last year.
Right. Yeah.
My buddy James Hebert's over here. We were just, like I said, just doing our thing. And it's kind of evolved since then to where we're actually having topics to discuss. So that'll be a fun way to go about this here. So we've got James here, and the rest of the Custody Team Brotherhood is with us. Stat Boy Mike, the Renegade himself, JJ Williams, and at least Mikey tonight is wearing a hockey hat of the city he's currently inhabiting. So we got to give Mikey credit. He's wearing a Predators gear. So good on him today as he's in the studio. There we go. Good job, Mikey. Welcome, everybody. It's good to see you all. James just finished watching Rampage, so good on him.
Yeah.
Mikey, are we in overtime still, or is the game over?
It went into overtime. They're done.
Okay. And JJ is here with us, and we're glad he's here with us. So there you go. He and I have a timetable. We're gonna be out the door in 12 hours, so we gotta get our shit going here.
Gotta be like Brian Cage and get our shit in. I
That's
do have
right.
a quick question for you guys though. As the countdown clock was playing, did the music sound a lot slower than normal?
Yes.
I noticed that too. It was like, dude, did the countdown go heel on us? It just got the slow and methodical.
That's true.
Yeah,
I was like, because I heard that too. I thought it was just me. I was like, what the hell?
I just wanted to make sure it wasn't just on my end, that everybody else heard it. Okay.
Yeah, no, I heard it. I wasn't gonna bring it up. I wasn't gonna bring it up because it sounded cooler anyway, and I was just like kind of jamming to it.
Yeah.
So it was just like whatever.
I think what happened was, being out of the studio, you can see I'm not in the usual studio. You can see you can tell where I am. But I think I'm a big Marvel poster. I'm not an MCU guy. I'm a DCU guy. I do the Marvel things, but yeah, this is the kids' room. Because my room's a complete fucking disaster area back there, so it kind of is what it is. Anyway, so I'm sure the internet connection is probably a little slower than usual, so bear with us, guys, as we go along here. But
this should be a great omen for the thing I sent you.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I haven't got this shit done yet. Like, I haven't even touched that because I know it's going to cause major drama.
Great.
So before we get into anything, there are some ground rules. Yes, even though they're open ground rules. So we love the super chats. Especially this month, because why, JJ?
Because if we can get $100 worth of super chats by April 30th, we will do the watch along for WrestleMania Backlash, much to James's chagrin.
Yeah, especially recently. So yes, people, if you heard that right, that is not a rib. Well, it is a rib on me, but it's not a rib on you people. If you donate to Jeff right now, if you get it to $100 by the end of the month, yes, I am going to be calling Backlash. Oh boy.
And we have a special Stat Boy shout out so far to one person who has got the majority of this tally.
Yes.
A special shout out goes to Dwayne Atkinson, who's so far the majority stockholder in this.
Right.
Putting up at least 80% of your little total there. So thank you to that, my friend. Well done indeed.
Yeah,
we
over the course of the week,
Dwayne.
that man has donated like 35 of that $45 on his own.
Yeah, it's crazy. So that's where we're at. We're almost halfway, and we've only gone a week in. We've still got, as of right now, 22 more days. And as you will see here in just a second, there are plenty of opportunities coming up in this month to get your shit in, because all of those except the dad's episodes are live.
On the 21st, we should literally just put something on there just to say, and literally just call the stream Torture James.
Well, I actually
we should just do that.
I actually have something tentatively lined up. I just can't disclose it yet because I'm still
gotcha.
So I'm working on it. But trust me, the other Thursdays are going to be lit like a firecracker because we've got Jenny Santana coming back next week, and then the guy in the lower third there is going to be, the lower half is going to be bringing Stepboy Rants back to the collective consciousness. May God have mercy on all our souls. But in the meantime, if you're going to Super Chat tonight, which any Super Chat or donation, by the way, at paypal.me/Jeff Meacham is greatly appreciated. Yeah. In addition to thank you very much, like we just did for our buddy Dwayne, we also have perks on this show in particular because if you any super chat at all tonight, you get the acknowledgement. As we said, we will acknowledge you like you are Roman Reigns. Yes. If you donate, it's supposed to be $5, but the algorithm's a piece of shit. $4.99 and up, you can introduce your own topic in addition to what we've already have lined up. So there is that.
And as soon as we are done with whatever topic we are currently discussing, yours will be next.
Yes.
Yours won't just shuffle down to the bottom of our list.
Nope. You get to the line.
Yeah. It's like a Disney Fast Pass.
That's right.
As soon as we're done talking about whatever we're in the midst of, your topic is next.
And if you donate $9.99 or $10, depending on your algorithm on your phone or your device, and up, you can join us on the screen and talk about whatever topic we're talking about or the topic you want to talk about.
Yeah.
So that's and again, you can donate also directly to PayPal PayPal/Jeff Meacham. It ain't difficult to find me. It'll say Jeffrey Meacham because it has to be all legal and appropriate but it is at Jeff Meacham _ whatever it is @ whatever it says on PayPal. That's how you get there. So that's how we do. It's what I do, as Mark Henry would say. By the way,
that's what I do.
That's right. By the way, James mentioned how Mark Henry was in the middle of the promo battle between Moxley and Yuta prior on Rampage. He does a great job of being that moderator, that voice of reason, which is a complete breakaway from what he used to do as the world's strongest man. So good on him for that. All right. So
it's time to do what I do.
That's right. It's time to go to the ring. And okay, Mark, we'll do that. So anyway, that's right. We have a lot to talk about. There's a lot more than I thought there was going to be, honestly, when we started the week, because middle of the week, when we was on the Greg Cherry show, I mean, it was literally a 2 news item week. That's really all I had to go over. And luckily, a lot more stuff came into the consciousness of my streams. So we will talk about those two people because I know JJ wants to talk about Tammy in particular because there is a connection with the Casa and Miss Sytch, but we're going to talk about a lot of other things. And the first thing I want to talk about is the only, as of now, non-wrestling topic that is on my agenda. If I can get the freaking thing to work, because I'm just having the time with this damn. Again, it's going to be one of those technology nights, folks. Just bear with me in advance because it's just going to be a thing. But the first thing I want to talk about is the fact that we finally got some actual news out of the XFL leadership this week. We had the co-manager, I guess, or whatever. Why the hell is it not working? What is going on?
Yeah, whatever you're trying. Okay. Yeah, it's making a glitch.
It is. It's going to be a glitchy night, and I'll try to rectify it when I can. But we have a new XFL logo. We have a new outlook for the XFL. We have a new basic corporate structure that is completely going away from anything and everything that had the WWE or Alpha Entertainment logo, branding, whatever you want to call it, on there. What honestly do you guys think will become of this? Because as of now, we have a February 2023 launch date. The Saturday following the Super Bowl is when we're going to see this. And I think we'll be covering it pretty heavily here on the Jeff Meacham Network, at least because I know Stabboy likes his football. I know we want to look for football after the Super Bowl. So we'll have at least 10 more weeks of football with the XFL being a thing. So I'll start with you, Stabboy, since you're new to the being here every week on Open Mic Night concept. What do you think of the XFL as it stands now? Because you and I and JJ, and I'm pretty sure James was too. I didn't know James back then, but we were all fans when the XFL launched in 2001. We watched as the pandemic destroyed the reboot. Yeah. What do you think of this new incarnation of the XFL, Mikey?
I am worried about this because I saw a news report regarding Megan Rapinoe of the women's U.S. soccer team not liking the XFL logo. This is legit. She is claiming that the X is similar to one of, I don't know if it's her logo or it's a logo that she's associated with. So she is not too happy with The Rock right now, with Dwayne Johnson. That's more to come. As far as the XFL itself, like I say, I'm concerned about it. I need to do a lot of homework on it. I need to know what's going on. Of course, the only stuff I remember of the XFL is the disastrous season when it came out, and there were only a few players, and then they started changing the rules before the playoffs started, and then the LA Extreme win the inaugural season, and then that's it. It died.
Right.
So I don't want that to happen again. Yes, I love my football. Yes, I'm happy with an 18-week season because it gives me 18 weeks to do stuff, and then I can just relax for the next until in the hockey season. So if I want to do good with Sports Bar, I've got a lot of homework and catching up to do. No denying that.
There you go. James, I know. I'm familiar with your overall sports fandom, so forgive me.
Well,
but
right,
where are you at with the XFL?
For me, okay, so I'll put myself here so that way I'm not blocked out. But as far as the XFL goes, believe it or not, and I probably psyched myself up to try and hate this. When it's relaunched the second time, or I guess the first time. It's just the first relaunch. What am I talking about? But I saw the first relaunch, and I'll be honest, I was surprised by how good Vince did. And I don't know if it was necessarily Vince or it was just a team of people that he had working on the thing, but it looked really, really promising.
Yes.
And that's not me saying that. Everybody knows I don't like to credit this guy for anything, but when he does something good, I'll be man enough to admit when he does something good. XFL, the second relaunch, was good. It was getting coverage from actual sports. They were making fun of this stuff before. And then when the first episode aired, they started taking this seriously. They was like, okay, wait a minute, this might actually have a second shot here. It was already straying away from the WWF. You wouldn't have even thought that the WWE was a part of this company, because it was under a whole other entertainment conglomerate that Vince owned.
Right.
Had the pandemic not happened, this rebranding wouldn't have happened. I can tell you one thing, though. They seriously, and I mean this, they seriously cannot stray away from what Vince was doing with the XFL the second time. If they do that, it's just going to be like every other football league if they try to make it like NFL, and nobody's going to care. XFL actually did stuff that was unique to whatever presentation Vince was putting on there. They need to stick with that presentation, believe it or not. That's my overall thoughts on it. I mean, the logo, it's a logo. I don't really care. I don't see the big deal with the X. I mean, to me, it just looks like Braun Breaker came in and sliced the X with a damn chainsaw. I mean, I see that. We've already seen that every week on 2.0. So, yeah, I don't know. It's whatever. I'm hoping that The Rock doesn't stray away from what Vince did. I'd imagine he wouldn't, but considering there's multiple parties and not just himself,
right?
I don't know. And I agree with Statboy. I think it's a bit worrisome.
All right. JJ, we all know that you and football aren't exactly the best of friends, shall we say? But I also know that you're one of those guys that will give anything a chance at least once. So, with this third incarnation now of the XFL, where are you at on this, my friend?
Statboy is worrisome. James is slightly worrisome. I am not. because within the last decade, maybe even 15 years, Dwayne Johnson has basically proven to be a King Midas.
True.
Everything that man touches turns to gold and is profitable and is successful. You figure he's got his own production company now, $7 Productions, his own energy drink line, Zoa, his own tequila, Terramana, which I'm not a tequila guy. I took a shot of it. I damn near barfed it out. It tasted nasty to me, but I had to try it because it was The Rock's drink.
Didn't he have a brand line of merch too, like shirts with the Brahma Bull on it?
Yeah, he had that with Under Armour, I believe.
Yep.
And he's a well-educated individual. Rocky is smart enough that he knows what he can handle. He knows what he can't handle.
Right.
That's part of why he still keeps his ex-wife around helping to run his businesses. Danny is still very much an active partner in virtually every one of Dwayne's affairs. Even though they've been divorced now for damn near a decade, I think. I may be wrong on that date. Statboy can probably look it up here real quick, but they have been separated for a good 5 years at least, I believe closer to a decade. And he still keeps her in his business ventures because he knows how smart she is about that stuff. Well, he's out doing
that is correct. 10 years.
Thank you. So I am not worried at all because between Rock's own education, the education that he got in the business from both his father and Vince, and the wherewithal to keep people around him to handle the extra stuff that he's not the best at, the only way this will fail is if the XFL is just supposed to fail from the jump. You know, the first incarnation had one season. Second time barely got off the ground. 3 strikes, you're out. If Rocky can't make this move, then like old Yeller, the XFL just needs to be taken around back and put out of its misery.
Oh yeah, big time. Big time.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you, JJ. And I tend to agree with a lot of what you guys were saying. It's just there's a lot that can go wrong. There's a lot that, you know, unfortunately may have at least hiccups involved when it comes to if I can just get the thing to work, that'd be so super. There it goes. Hopefully it will not be 3 strikes and out or 3 and out, as we say in baseball. Hopefully it'll be or 3 and out football, excuse me, not baseball. Hopefully it'll be better than it has been in the previous years. All right.
Yeah, true.
So next thing I want to talk about is something that is going to affect at least a couple people in this room, me included. So WWE's determined to break my wallet, which is fine, I suppose. That's what they do. We now have a double feature for WrestleMania coming up in April of next year. April 1st and 2nd, of course, will feature 2 nights of WrestleMania at SoFi Stadium. And I still intend to go. I still want to go, but it's going to be a tough sell to get me out there or to get people in the family to open up the purse strings. It's just going to be something to have to figure out. But JJ, you've been to a WrestleMania in Los Angeles, so I will start with you this time since you went last in the last round, if you will.
Okay.
Where are you at with WrestleMania going Hollywood for 2 nights now, and for the first time ever in Los Angeles in a stadium setting, as opposed to the LA Sports Arena, the Staples Center, or the Arrowhead Pond of Anaheim/Honda Center?
Well, I'm definitely excited. The last few months, you know, everybody knows I've been kind of wading myself back into the pool here of professional wrestling, having watched Day 1, Rumble, Chamber, and then every Raw, NXT, and SmackDown between Chamber and Mania. I haven't seen this week's NXT yet. But aside from that, I am all caught up on the current product. And then obviously SmackDown just aired tonight. Doesn't even make Hulu till tomorrow, so I don't count that.
Right.
But I am genuinely excited. I am seriously contemplating, at minimum, the Hall of Fame. And if they do it like they did this year, where I have to go to SmackDown to see the Hall of Fame, so be it. But I'm at least considering the Hall of Fame and one night of Mania.
There you go.
You know, depending on
Makes
how
sense.
things develop in my life and my situation between now and then, I may just go balls to the wall, do both nights of Mania and the Raw after.
That'd be wonderful.
But I am
hopefully we can all work that out. Yeah.
To it. You know, between the very high rumors of Rocky going in, which what better timing? I mean, obviously WrestleMania in Hollywood is perfect, but then having it come 5 weeks, 6 weeks after the XFL kicks off.
Yep.
You can't get much better publicity for the XFL than to put its owner in there.
Yeah, 100%.
I would say not. Yeah.
You know, and then I was kind of thinking about some other people that could maybe go in. How about the Hollywood Blondes?
Yeah,
a tag team choice.
And make Austin a double Hall of Famer for sure.
And probably the only way Pillman will be able to get in there.
Yeah.
Because of how controversial he was.
I don't. You see, the thing is, though, he may have been controversial, but is he controversial enough not to get his own induction ceremony?
If we're only looking at WWE accolades, then I don't know if he would get it.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, to me though, when I hear you say that, it's like I feel like because of the impact he had on the industry and what he did in the short period of time with the whole psycho gimmick that he had going on, which I guess ended up being a shoot more than a work. It wouldn't make sense not to make him at least an inductee in like solo. That just sounds bizarre to me.
Maybe it's something that could come later on down the line, but I definitely feel like the Hollywood Blondes would be a good call for WrestleMania Goes Hollywood.
100%.
You know, I feel like Brian's best work was in WCW, and unfortunately, most people these days don't know of it.
Mm.
You know, unless you're of our generation.
Yeah, true.
That they don't know about Flying Brian.
Yep. I'm hearing myself a little bit.
Jeff just reloaded. I think that's where the issue is.
Yeah, Jeff, you might want to mute. Yeah. Lovely. Well, Noah, since you just got in here, I'll introduce everybody to you. Hey, Noah Foster, how you doing?
Yes, welcome to the room, Noah.
Good evening, everybody. It's Friday night, and you know what that means. We are back here on the Jet Beach Network to cause even more chaos through discussions and conversations, as this is another open mic night. I'm doing well, gentlemen. Been a long day, but hell of a rousing way to close it out with Rampage. Can't wait to talk about that on the Daily Slam. And I see now we're talking about the Tuna Extravaganza. That will be coming next year from Los Angeles in the SoFi Stadium.
Yes.
WrestleMania. Well, JJ, you kind of summed it up in your very first sentence. That's a hard sell. Here's the thing. I've never gone to WrestleMania. Ever in my life. I've never been to California. The only thing I've been to as far as big-time professional wrestling is Slammiversary last year, and that was a memorable show in itself. Cost about $300 out of pocket just for that, not counting everything else. I spent about $2,000 in that weekend in Nashville alone. But as far as this goes, yeah, your biggest focal point right now, okay, you're trying to sell The Rock versus Roman Reigns. That means you have to try and drive the Roman Reigns Tribal Chief narrative for a whole nother year. Can they actually have enough caliber of talent to do that is the question. And then I think about, okay, is both days worth it? I mean, each day was entertaining in their own right. Each day had at least a couple of professional wrestling matches I could be like, okay, this match really should have been maybe the match of the night. Oh, yeah, and Fastlane 2019 was pretty cool, too, Josh. I agree, even though we kind of saw how that shit was a big kibosh. But it was great seeing you. That definitely was the memorable part for me. If I more so attempt to go to this LA experience, it'll be to engage professional wrestling friends, necessarily. Not necessarily sports entertainment, showcasing. So, again, it's going to come down to budgeting, planning, and travel. Because, again, traveling from LA to from Ohio, that's going to be a first time ever for me, too. I can't imagine how long of a plane trip that is. Yeah. So they're going to have to really push a lot of variety and interesting surprises if they're going to get my worthwhile money for the entire WrestleMania week experience. Again, I don't even watch Raw or SmackDown. I rely on Aramis reviews for the content on that. That's the only reason I'm keeping up in the predictions league. So if I do go out to this, it'll be strictly just for those 2 nights, unless you have a really stacked Hall of Fame class. Ms. Elizabeth? But I digress. Again, we'll have to wait and see. I feel like we'll talk more about this and revisit this topic come the fall, because in my opinion, you try and tease the idea of, okay, what can we think about that could happen at WrestleMania based on what happens at SummerSlam? Because Survivor Series more so should be about brand supremacy. Of course, that idea died a long time ago. So I'm hoping SummerSlam gives me some sort of teaser to really make me think about what if this is possible at WrestleMania. So I'll decide more on my 2023 live wrestling experiences then, including this.
Fair enough.
All right. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
You can.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to leave it at that, because trying to get me on camera is not going to be a thing tonight because I'm in the wrong studio. So thank you, James, for introducing Noah. Noah, it's good to see you. I saw your message in the chat, and then I saw you pop in, so I figured I'll go ahead and make her happen. So since we heard from James briefly on this topic, we'll go ahead and ask him, although Noah kind of hit the point that has been brought up in the group chat that I'm in as far as making plans, because I want everybody to come out. I want to see everybody, but I also realize we're 12 months away, Jeff. Slow your damn roll. However, the fact that it's now going to be a thing, it looks like going forward, James. 2 nights of WrestleMania every year. Where you at, man?
For me, this is the thing they should have been doing for after. I mean, here's the reason they're doing it. Anybody remember 2019 and the disaster that was?
Yes.
I mean, that's the reason. And it was smart to do it this way, because then you never have to ever think about that disaster happening ever again. So this is the smartest way they could have done it. And even then, I'm still not convinced they would have done the 2-night thing. And the only reason they did the 2-night thing was because it was a freaking pandemic. So they realized how much that probably was beneficial in the long run. They tried it again the year after the pandemic, even though we were kind of still in it, and it made gangbuster money,
right?
Considering the amount of people that could actually attend. This year, especially, I think is their highest grossing Mania
ever.
Across the board on all fronts.
On all fronts. So, yeah, I mean, it's a smart business move. Just in general, I don't see why you wouldn't do it this way. I mean, New Japan was doing it way before WWE was doing it, and when they made their stuff 2 nights, it also did the biggest profit it ever did, even over Wrestle Kingdom 12, which top to bottom was probably the best probably the best card I've ever seen ever in pro wrestling. Allegedly, if you ask other people. So yeah, it makes sense. I don't mean I'm going to go. But, yeah, no, for those who enjoy Mania and the whole experience of it, it's really good strategy by WWE. I don't see anything wrong with it. The only thing that they need to consider doing is do either a 30-minute pre-show, or if you're going to do a 2-hour pre-show, at the very least do an hour of matches.
Right.
Thank you.
Jesus.
That's the one thing I recommend. If you're going to because at the very least, yes, it's on the pre-show, but at least the IC title would have been on there.
Right.
At least the US title would have been on there. That's the main reason I'm saying just put these things on there. And the matches that were on the main card that never should have been on the main card, New Day versus the Fight Club being one of them, and Almas versus Lashley being another. Put that shit on the pre-show. like, then at the very least, you're spreading your show out, your main show out, to actually have the quality stuff, as opposed to just, oh, we got to fill the card, pal. Let's just, that's the one thing they need to do. This is the struggle that WWE has had for years. I mean, for years. They put so much, especially since they've ramped it up when it comes to doing so many hours of television. They're so dead set on doing more quantity and not enough quality to justify the quantity.
Simple as that.
It has been the crutch of WWE for years. And this year, they didn't have it as much. As you could tell by the way we reacted. It was actually a very, very good show, right? For once, So it was good because there wasn't as much crap on there. There was still crap, though.
Yes. Yeah.
And just avoid the crap. At least put the crap on the pre-show, and then just have the good stuff on the main show. I mean, yeah, you're probably still gonna have two matches that are like duds, but I'd rather 2 matches that are duds, like there was at WrestleMania 17, than freaking 5 or 6 or 7. Like, this is supposed to be your biggest show of the year, right?
Right.
It don't feel like it. Like, but at the very least, at least the majority of the stuff that they had was still quality over quantity, which is more than I could say of the last freaking how many years? 5, 6?
I think you said it's the best WrestleMania you've experienced since WrestleMania 31, which says a lot when that was only one day.
Yes, indeed. For sure.
Exactly. Mikey, you, for the most part, have lived your life in an area that is at least a suburb of or near a major metropolitan area. Of course, James made a very good point about WrestleMania back in 2019 being so damn long that quite a bit of the people within the greater New York area, they were in Jersey. Vince, slow your goddamn roll. It's Jersey, not New York. Shut the hell up. I hate that stupid shit so much. Anyway, can you imagine how bad it would be if it wasn't 2 nights and they had that kind of traffic nonsense in LA? Holy God. Transit failures in Los Angeles. We riot out here when we have championship wins. Can you even imagine what the hell would happen if they freaking had that kind of nonsense? But anyway, I digress on that. Mikey, you have been to a WrestleMania as well. You went to WrestleMania 21 with the Renegade. Will you be seeking to come back out here for both nights?
Absolutely. I would love to come home. I've said many times, I don't fully miss California. There are certain things in California that I miss, i.e. my family. I do miss Disneyland a little bit. I miss Knott's Berry Farm a little bit, So coming home back to California would be great. And this is a huge possibility. And of course, we're a year out, so we're in the planning stages, or we're just in the talking stages. If we can bring this to fruition, I think it'll be the greatest coming together of a group of friends that I consider family to not just do WrestleMania, but to spend time together, talk about what's been going on, and enjoy one of the biggest weekends in wrestling history. I have wanted to do WrestleMania fan access ever since it first got conceived. The little conventions, the one I went to, it's just, hey, here's a wrestler, here's my merch. Right. I've done the MMA convention where you can go into an octagon, you can go into a cage, you can try boots on or whatever. I would love to do the thing where you get to put your hands on Andre's handprints. That would be cool. I would love to step into a Hell in a Cell. I would love to get in a proper WWE ring and just stand there and pose. Or there was one thing at City Walk where I think Renegade did his best Triple H impression. I would love to do that. I would love to recreate the DX intro. And also, if Dory and I do this, remember, Dory has not been to a wrestling show. This would be her debut. I think she would, if we had access, she would just light up like a Christmas tree. She wouldn't know where to go first.
Right.
Especially if AJ and Edge were there. She would just it'd be amazing to watch.
I know they have a rematch on that night. Oh my god.
There you go.
She gone.
I dig it. Well, thank you everybody for your opinions on that. Before we move on to the next topic, I want to throw it up there because I'm such a massive shill and a money whore. Don't mind me.
Throw Josh's comment up at the same time. He's trying to hype you.
Yes, which I appreciate, Josh. Thank you. I haven't put your comments up just so I had an opportunity yet, but yes, please. Anything we can get, we appreciate. And we saw an old friend from the past, Ken, terminated by no DQ, is in here, and he's saying he misses Talk Wrestling every Tuesday night, brother. On the Jeff Meacham Network, on the Cosmedian Studios, on the Greg Cherry brand, and yes, on the the days where Aaron decides not to boot my ass off and have predictions or whatever, I am on NoDQ.com those nights too. So there you go. You will see me, Ken, I promise. Tuesday nights, brother, and Monday nights with Ask the Dads, and Wednesday nights with the Greg Cherry Show, and most Thursdays I've got something going on, and every Friday night there'll be something going on. As long as if there's not a pay-per-view prediction show, we're doing open mic night as far as I'm concerned. But I digress. There it is. Any super chat, you get the acknowledgement Roman Reigns style. $5 and up, you can bring your own topic in, and we will get to it as soon as the topic is at hand is addressed. $10 and up, you can join us on the screen. And Josh, I appreciate the fact that you are a broke person, much like my ass, which is why I'm asking for this. We don't expect you to donate every single time. We don't expect anybody to donate. We just would really appreciate it. So don't feel bad, Josh. We will get you. You know you're welcome on the channel anytime you want to be on, brother. We'll just have to 100%. Try to work it out for a later day because it's a packed house tonight.
Yeah,
now,
exactly.
The next topic I want to bring up, I was going to talk about Rebellion. That's actually in the agenda, but it's like we're going to have a full prediction show in a couple weeks. But I do want to point out to everybody in the room real quick here while I have everybody here because I know the majority of you guys are fans or at least familiar with. How awesome is it to see Taya back in Impact Wrestling and up in Deonna Purrazzo's face because before Deonna Purrazzo was the longest reigning knockout champion of all time, Taya was setting that trend and being that bitch. So
yeah,
I'm happy to have her back.
Yeah, Taya, what a great athlete, man. I love Taya Valkyrie. I'm so glad she's back where she belongs. I'm very happy that she's not in a place where they just oh my god, like you had. I ain't even gonna stunt. Like you had a great wrestler and a very, very good looking woman, and you're like, oh, you're too old. Are you kidding me?
Seriously.
Like, are you serious? Like, this could have been a future money making star. Not even just her, but Scarlett Bordeaux as well. Like,
oh my god,
what were you thinking?
Going.
You
insert name here.
Insert name here, but. Those two, especially in the women's division, because I bring those two names specifically because Taya and Scarlett, like Taya's a tremendous athlete, tremendous wrestler, and she's got the looks. It's like Vince's wet dream, right?
Right.
And then you got Scarlett, same thing. A lot of people don't realize how good Scarlett Bordeaux is in the ring. She's criminally underrated. Criminally underrated.
Yes.
And you had both of them in your company and you released them? Like, what has happened to Vince? I thought this was his type. This should have been a shoo-in.
Yep.
For real. Like, you had two of the hottest blondes at one point who could freaking go in that ring.
Yep.
And you do nothing with them.
No.
I would be pushing these two as world champions on both brands instantly.
Absolutely.
Because they're that damn good. And you can't find a spot for them on the card, at least. You can't tag team them and at least have them win the women's tag team championships. God knows you don't do anything with those anyway.
Right.
Like,
it's so criminal, James. You know, the fact that not only them, but their respective partners. How do you not find something for John Hennigan to do? The guy's a ridiculously tremendous athlete. And then you've got Killer Cross.
Thank you.
Freaking slave driving name mother Anyway,
we'll get to that.
Lord Almighty.
This is off.
Killer Cross, not carrying Cross. Anyway, Jiminy Crickets. How do you not find anything for those poor guys to do? How do you let Joe get away and be on that Ring of Honor? Like, there's, and again, don't need to both say insert name here. They fired 81 friggin' people last year.
And then that's even more if you add 2020 to that list.
Yeah.
What was it? Denise Salcedo said like over 200 people were let go?
Yeah. Yes. And the fact is, JJ and Mike, you'll appreciate this part of it too. The fact that our buddy Ryan Katz is now going to find tremendous work because he is doing a podcast with Brian James, the Road Dog. Let me sit there and not move for a day and listen to those podcasts, if you please. Thank you very much. Tap the freaking heroin shot on my arm there. Good Lord have mercy. Because those two guys are going to
Mike
up. Like, oh yes, and you know what? It's pre-recorded podcast, but the fact that it's called "Oh You Didn't Know" and it's freaking the guy who was the voice of, XPW's Enterprise and Wrestling Society X, and has been the producer of more segments in NXT that you probably don't even know he was behind. And he's trained so many damn people out here in his Fitbit here in California. And then you've got the Road Dog, who again, yes, he was, I don't want to say overrated, but definitely overused as part of the New Age Outlaws and part of DX. But like his style or not, the guy's got a brain on him. He's got a creative mind for this business, very much like Michael Hayes, very much like the producers that they kind of just pushed by the wayside because of whatever controversy happened to fill the freaking ice cream cup that day. Stupid. I'm looking forward to the podcast. But getting back to Taya and James brought up Scarlett. That's a very good point. I didn't think about bringing up Scarlett because I saw Taya on my TV this week, up in Deanna's face, up in her shit about the Noah. Give me the name of the championship for me.
The Triple A Reinas de Reinas Championship.
Yeah, that. I can't even.
Bro, instant. This dude's on it, man. Like,
I can't even make it sound good when I try to.
Words you can't pronounce, give it to Noah.
Spanglish, yeah, just like Noah, make it happen. And then what's great is you've got that match. You've got Tasha Steelz versus Rosemary in another championship match with the ladies, the Knockouts Championship. And then I love that Gresham and Eddie is on the card, but they're not giving Eddie a shot at the Ring of Honor Championship because Eddie's become such a despicable son of a bitch. So it's like, nope, you don't get to do that. You just get your ass whooped by Gresham. But we'll talk about it, Rebellion, more coming up here in a couple weeks. Again, that's going to be 2 weeks from 2 weeks from the night, the 22nd. We'll be doing our preview of Rebellion. Now, well, I don't know why I did that. Let's try that again. There we go. Hi. Okay. So, Noah, since you're going to be a smart ass, we're going to make you go first here. Let's go ahead and do that. The American Nightmare, we were all a part of the return of Cody Rhodes to WWE the other night at WrestleMania, and what a moment it was. It was, as he even said in the interview himself, it was the worst kept secret in wrestling. Like, we all knew he was coming back.
Pretty much.
But you guys all know how important Dusty was to me and to my interviewing career, my podcasting career, and to see Cody come out there and talk about this picture that very few people knew was a fixture in the Rhodes, Runnels, whatever household, and pretty much state, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be the WWE champion because my dad could not be. And I think since I'm going to make Noah go first, I'll go ahead and say what I wanted to say. Polka Dot Dusty was never going to be the WWE champion. Goldust was never going to be the WWE champion, nor the Artist, nor Seven, nor Dustin Runnels, nor the Natural. Even Dustin Rhodes is going to be the WCW champion because of, like we talked about earlier in the week on our other stream. Freaking nepotism's a mucker further. But I think the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes has the best chance of any of the Rhodes family, period, that has come through WWE to be the world champion. Noah, agree, disagree?
I definitely agree with you. Ever since we've seen Cody Rhodes and his transition from what he was prior to finding himself on the independent scene and building other wrestling enterprises in his own identity, truly stand on his own, but still in the name of the Rhodes family, Dusty Rhodes. He's got the look, he's got the charisma, he's got the mic skills, he's got the reaction that he gets that literally conveys him to be a world champion. And now that he's back here in the WWE, and if you're going to have a flagship bearer on both your shows, not just one overall in the entire company, I would put the red brand on Cody Rhodes back at this point. And I feel like, yeah, let's have Cody be the first one in the Rhodes family to actually carry and hold and sustain a WWE championship legacy. When I heard that speech on Monday night, and it was the only part Monday Night Raw I tuned into, because again, Cody Rhodes, it definitely conveyed to me why he came back in the first place. And honestly, it might be literally the last thing he wishes to do with his entire wrestling career before he puts the boots up. And whether or not he goes into politics after that, that's his own choice. But yeah, if the American Nightmare does not become the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, then the Rhodes family, generations to come even, will never, I feel like, be a world champion. And I've been pulling for Dustin Rhodes for a long time, especially in the natural. I was pulling for him in the TNT tournament, both chances. But right now, when you think about world championship caliber, Cody Rhodes is the only one connected to that family name that I could see actually doing it, and deserves to.
Yep. JJ, you and I have had the privilege over the years to interact with Cody. There was, of course, the infamous paper bag incident in SummerSlam 2011 where he couldn't even contain the giddiness at seeing you in full getup. And we had the opportunity to see him, branch out on his own. Unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to really see him on the indies too much, except for me going to Hollywood Wrestling and see him as an WWE champion. But, we've all been major fans of Cody, going back to the early days as Priceless, and then, of course, joining up with Legacy. Have you had a chance to see this promo in full, and what were your thoughts as you were watching it played back from Monday night?
I did see the promo in full. Like I said, I haven't seen this week's NXT and then tonight's SmackDown, but otherwise, I've seen everything that Hulu offers us. I don't know, man. Like, I completely feel like this is his destiny.
Yeah.
That he is gonna do it, and I honestly feel like he will dethrone Roman Reigns.
Right.
The question becomes when.
Yes.
Yes.
And honestly, the way I would build it up is I would have it be next year's Mania.
Wow, that long?
Yeah.
Okay.
1 year to the day when he returned.
Oh, okay. I dig that. That is actually investing in long-term booking, which is a very scary thought when it comes to WWE, without question. Mikey, again, we know you're not completely following all the major the major shows all the time, and I totally understand that, because it is a chore to watch Raw, SmackDown, everything every single week, as we talked about, and as we'll get to James's comments momentarily, because I know he's itching. So, Mikey, where are you at with the grandson of a plumber, if you will? Where are you at with Cody on this one?
First off, I want to give a quick Stat Boy shout out to Cody's niece, Dakota, who just recently got married.
Yes.
If you follow Terry and Dustin, there's a beautiful video of the dance between Dustin and Dakota. Very beautiful.
Yep.
The family looked great. Love that. So congratulations, Dakota. Well done on your recent nuptials. As far as the promo, I would say if that is not one of the top promos of 2022, then the wrestling community has no idea what they're missing. It was very heartfelt. Of course, Cody could not keep his his raw emotions in every time he talked about his dad. It was a good learning experience. It was something that I'm like, oh, that really happened. And this happened before I was born. This was actually the week, if not a week and a half before my birthday.
Yep.
I was born October 5th. This happened September 26th. So I wasn't even born yet. So this is a lesson. This is, hey, my dad did this and I don't like it. And I'm like, wow, Dusty almost got the title. I did not know that Champion's Advantage was a thing back then. I thought Champion's Advantage was later in, I started watching around 96, 97, or 92, 93. I didn't know what Champion's Advantage was. I didn't know you couldn't win a title on a count out. So, Cody played Professor.
Yes.
Cody winning the belt? Absolutely. Give him the title. Taking it off Roman, though, that brings up the question, is Roman double champion, or is it one belt? Is it two belts? What's going on with that? If he's going to drop, if it is a two belt situation, if he drops the WWE championship and keeps the Universal one, then his path keeps going and he will hit that 1,000-day mark. Right. It's like I said on the WrestleMania prediction show. I knew Roman was going to win the match, but he did not need the WWE Championship because he's already got God mode going with the Universal Championship.
Yes.
Yep.
So he can easily
we will talk more about Roman here in a minute.
Yeah, he can easily drop that half of the belt and give it to Cody and then continue on.
All right.
Of course, we also have The Rock waiting in the wings. Possibly that's a thing too. So the American Nightmare getting the WWE title, yes, I would love to put that in my title history book, and I'll definitely say, you know what? There's your new champion right there.
There you go. All right, James, you have been given significant shit over your reaction last weekend to Cody's arrival, but you've had the opportunity now. It's been almost a week. You've seen the promo on Raw. You've seen the reactions to his return and to his promo on Raw. Where are you as of April 8th? And by the way, I did want to point out that Josh made a very good point earlier regarding James. Let me go ahead and get that up there really quick before I forget. Where did it go? I think I passed it on the chat list. I did. There it is. So Friday, April 8th, 2021, James actually says Vincent came back and did something good. For the record, it was a thing on the channel. So I'll leave it there. And where are you at on Mr. Rhodes at this point?
For me, 2021 botch.
Yeah, for me.
All right, yeah, good point. Yeah. So, yeah, Josh, if you're gonna give the guy shit, at least get your dates right. Anyway, there you go.
Yeah. For me, yeah, I don't know. Like, it's just, I'm like, I watched it back. I watched the match back. So that's my number one thing. Like, just so people know, like, I watched it back. Yeah, it was a great match. The only thing that still pissed me off is that buckle bomb, and screw you. You can't tell me otherwise.
No, you're 100% right on that. I hate that that's still a thing. I hate that move exists. I do. Yeah. I forever hate it.
Yeah.
100% without question.
That's right.
Yeah, for me, I don't know. Like, I look at it, and this is very promising. I don't know. Like, I want to believe that they'll do right by Cody. I hope they do right by Cody. It seems like since they actually had him cut this promo that they will do right by Cody, and they probably will have him beat Roman Reigns for at least the WWE World title, which, thank God, because no, we cannot have that fucking title merge with the Universal title. Maybe that's the reason why Cody cut the promo he did.
Right?
Because to protect that lineage. But yeah, I don't know. Like, for me, I don't know. Like, it's a double-edged sword, right? Because I feel like you have to give the belt to Cody, and maybe you just give him one of the titles as opposed to both, which is why I don't think you should be merging titles, especially now that you have Cody.
Yes.
But I could also see him be the U.S. champion. Like, I think I made this comment before, but, like, I don't know if you should do this right away. I don't know if you do it now or you wait until Mania 40 and have it in Georgia. Because for me, like, that's a Mania moment, having him win that title and having him dethrone Cody to do so. So I don't know. For me, it was it's weird. And I looked at the promo. Here's the double-edged sword bit of this. What did you bring Cody in for? Because if you brought him in to just win the world title, that's great. What do you have after that?
Yeah.
What are you going to do with the rest of your roster? How are you going to keep Roman undefeated for so long? I don't know if you could do anything like that. And I don't know. Like, for me, it's just like, it aggravates me because you saw it on Raw. You saw it on Raw. Look at the only good segment on Raw, or the only decent segment on Raw. If it wasn't boring, every other segment, it was shot on by the crowd, because the crowd after Mania sucks, that I mentioned.
Right, exactly.
So, I just, I don't know. Like, you just look at it, and it's like, I'm happy for Cody. I want him to win the belt. Let me make that very clear. I want him to win the belt. Everybody that is a fan of Cody, and that is also a fan of AEW, wants him to win the belt. Let me make that very clear as well.
Right.
I just don't, for the love of God, want to see them do this to him and then just pull the rug out from under us too many times, like they did with other people, like they did with Braun Strowman, like they've done with other people. I don't want to see that, number one. Number two, I don't want to see that they just focus all their eggs in one basket with Roman and Cody and that whole program that they might stretch on for however long, they go over. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Like, just for the love of God, if you're gonna give Cody the title, you need to build a roster. That the main reason I'm saying don't even go this route yet this quickly. And give him the US title instead is one, it really works out considering the fact that he's supposed to be the next John Cena anyway. I mean, that's clearly the direction they're going to go with him. I mean, I don't know why you would have him. Although, then again, we just got done talking about Scarlett Bordeaux and Taya Valkyrie, who they just completely misutilized, and Samoa Joe too. But, which is, again, why I have my reservations. But if you're going to do it right, you need to get him the U.S. title first, have him do the open challenges, have him build that title up, because you need a proper division of future stars. And you're not going to get that by just relying on the same old names. As great as Mania was, what was the common theme? Anybody want to tell me?
Nostalgia.
Exactly. You only have that card so many times left to pull out to make a Mania feel special. You need to start building for the future. This is literally your last opportunity to build for the future. If you don't start building now, there is no future for this company.
No.
You have to do it with Cody. You have to do it right, and you have to take your time with it. You have him in a multi-year deal. For once, I am saying, do not rush Cody. You need to build this up. Have him win the U.S. title because, first off, again, aesthetically pleasing.
Yep.
And second off, have him win the title at Mania 40. That should be the goal. Whatever Cody builds up, they build up for Roman. Right?
Yep, exactly.
That should be your goal. Have Cody build up the next contendership for Roman Reigns. Because we know Cody can do it. We've seen Cody do it in AEW. So do it here in WWE. That's what they need to do for the next 2 years.
Yeah, without question, 100%. You really got to define a mid card. You got to define the workhorse division. You got to define those future leaders. And WWE apparently just has dropped the ball on that now for, I would say, last couple of years. If Finn Balor's lost out to Austin Theory, they still haven't set up Austin Theory versus Finn Balor, for example. Maybe they'll finally do that WrestleMania Backlash. And as far as the Intercontinental Championship goes, they've ping-ponged that so much, I forgot what that was supposed to be in the first place. Ricochet has it now. Will suddenly actually pull him out catering to defend it against a worthy adversary, maybe make them both open challenges, maybe actually bring fresh matches, something that really pleases the crowd, something that opens the eye of the audience to somebody that's the future, like Wheeler Yuta and AEW, and the fabricated Minoru Suzuki versus freaking Samoa Joe for the Ring of Honor Television Championship next week.
Right, exactly. Well, here's another thing, and I love JJ's comment here.
Yeah, there you go. Key names right there.
But here's another comment I have for you, right? Why do you think Danielson left? Because everybody wants to point it. Oh, well, he obviously loves it there. And that was a PR answer, guys. Let's not freaking kid ourselves.
Oh, Lord, here we go.
Keep in mind what Danielson's position was while he was still in the WWE. Anybody remember what happened in 2020? Oh, yeah, that's right. He was responsible for what was going on in the mid-card.
Yep.
Anybody wonder why we got random matches for the Intercontinental title that happened to be great during the pandemic era, like AJ versus Grand Metalik, AJ versus Hardy, AJ versus Drew Gulak, AJ versus God knows who else? It's because Brian was in charge of the mid-card. And Bruce couldn't have that, so he got rid of him.
Right.
And he said, your services aren't required. That was the final straw that broke the camel's back, and Danielson said, well, you know what? Screw this then. I'm going to take my talent elsewhere and build the future stars that I want to build over there. Which, by the way, he's done.
Yep.
He literally just, him and Moxley both have just made a rising star and probably a Rookie of the Year candidate in Wheeler Yuta tonight. So, look at that. For real. Like, so, if you, for all intents and purposes, and I mean this, if we're going to bring in Cody, you need to have him, at the very least, build the mid-card up. You don't have to have him run the mid-card like Danielson was doing. No. God forbid, don't do that. But, like, you need to start building the future, and this is literally your last opportunity. I don't think they care. I genuinely don't think they care. I'm still under the impression that Vince is going to give us the best shows of nostalgia that he can because he's willing to die with the ship. And if he doesn't die with the ship, then he's just going to give it to Nick Khan. So I don't think he cares that much. That's the problem. And listen, that's coming from a very, very, very bitter WWE fan that has been disappointed. I have had to set my expectations for this company exponentially low.
Oh, yeah.
And I think a lot of people have, because that's the only way you can enjoy the product. If you set your expectations to absolutely, they will screw you at every chance that they get, and they end up not, you will never be disappointed if they actually have a great show.
Very true.
It sucks that it has to be that way, but that's where we're at.
Yeah, I mean, you went into Saturday and Sunday very much like, yeah, I'm here for Jeff. The hell with this. And you were pleasantly surprised, it seemed like. So I was happy for you. I really was.
I was very pleasantly surprised, for sure.
Yeah, same, because I know you, man. I know your feelings towards the WWE. And
yeah, again, it's no secret how I feel about this company.
Yeah, I mean,
no.
Yeah.
So, next topic I want to bring up before we get to the two.
Well, I mean, what poor Stat Boy, man. What about Stat Boy's thoughts?
I could have sworn he talked about Cody already.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
JJ also did too, right? I was the
last
last
one. JJ pushed the
I
idea.
kept you last on purpose because I knew Cody was one you would dive into head first into the shallow end of the pool, just to mucker fuck your own self. But you did great, so it was all good. So this one is, I've not seen SmackDown, nor has JJ. I don't think Mikey has either. So bear with us, those of you kids on the East Coast. Is there a plan B with Roman possibly being incapacitated?
Oh, Lord.
Do we know what's going to become of the WWE Undisputed, whatever the hell they're calling it this week, championship, if the head of the table is down for the count?
I'm going to take a quote from Noah here. Do not merge the titles. Simple as that.
Yeah. I mean,
that's it.
I mean, there isn't a whole lot of, we don't need to go, bounce around the entire room here, but it's just one of those, is there a plan B? Like, if Roman's hurt enough where he's not going to defend the championship, does he drop the titles, plural? Does he drop the title, plural, singular? Does he forfeit like he's had to do for leukemia twice now? What do we do with the WWE championship, whatever incarnation you refer to it as, if the tribal chief is down for a indefinite amount of time?
Well, considering I just got done looking at Bleacher Report's brief summary of the show, and Roman Reigns and his family are now the island of relevancy, and they want to own all the gold, including the Usos going to Raw to try and get the Raw dimes from RK Bro, I would say at this point that they would probably preserve Roman Reigns. I feel like at this point you don't have rules anymore regarding how often you have to defend your title or show up, etc. Especially when you're Roman Reigns at this point, you own the world. It wouldn't surprise me if they try and pull a swerve where maybe he doesn't defend the title even till Money in the Bank. They might just be like, he's temporarily not here. They still have him do the vignettes from backstage or a video because at the end of the day, everyone will still acknowledge him, of course, as the WWE Undisputed Universal Champion, whatever lines that they go with. But again, it goes back to the idea, okay, what do you do? There's two titles here. Again, worst case scenario, they merge it. You saw the graphic at WrestleMania, James, half blue, half black unification belt. So it sounds like right now Roman Reigns wants all the belts underneath his family, one umbrella. So it's one of those things right now. Is there a plan B if Reigns is injured? No. I would say absolutely not. Because unless you literally do some sort of weird company-wide tournament to find that standard bearer, even if it's temporarily, to hold one or both these titles, you have nobody with the draw, the gusto, or the belief right now that Roman Reigns has holding these titles as the tribal chief. They're stuck.
No, for real. Can you actually get us both on screen for this? I mean, goddamn, because Noah and I could bounce back and forth all day long about this. Like, no, for real. He's right. There is nobody currently. The only one now that they just got is Cody, and you can't rush that.
Right.
Do we remember what happened to The Fiend, anyone? When we rushed to get a championship on the guy? Like, that's the problem. That's the problem. You can't rush this stuff. But the problem is, the reason why they rush it is because they have no draw. They have no star power. This has been an issue for a long time.
Yep.
How long has it been since WrestleMania had legitimate star power that, like, actually got people to tune in?
I would say...
And I'm counting this year. So, like, it took how many years up to that point? Other than Brock Lesnar.
I would say ruthless aggression era, like again, JJ goes back to WrestleMania 20 all the time as the greatest of the modern era. It's hard to argue with him. It really is.
There's the fundamental problem.
Yep.
I mean,
and by the way, Noah, thank you for the segue briefly because you mentioned Money in the Bank. We'll be covering that show on July 2nd right here on the Jeff Beacher Network. Okay, very good. Anyway, because they'll be in Vegas and I won't. So that's messing with that town in July. It was hot enough in August. July is worse. I've been to Vegas in late June, early July. I am capable of learning. It does happen. I done learned. I ain't going. Nope. Too goddamn hot.
Okay then.
Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Wouldn't be prudent. All right. If you know, you know on that one. Lord, I'm throwing it back, reaching way back into the bag of tricks on that one. Okay, so before I get to what is going to be the two topics that are going to get people.
Well, hold on, JJ. Poor JJ.
Well, no, like I said, I was just kind of going around the room there, but yeah, go ahead, JJ. I'm sorry. Go ahead, by all means. What do you think of this? Is there a plan B? Will there be any other way out of this if they need to pull out of the Roman Reigns situation?
I see him thinking.
He's thinking.
I think right now there is not a plan B. No. I think they're going to wait and see exactly how long Roman is going to be shelved for.
Right.
And the big key is, in my opinion, he cannot miss SummerSlam.
Exactly.
Right.
That's the next big one.
He can miss Backlash. He can miss Money in the Bank.
Yes.
He can miss whatever is sandwiched in between there, Hell in a Cell, whatever bullshit.
It's not like they cared. It's not like they cared when Brock was champion, so yeah.
But you can't have him miss a big 4 pay-per-view.
No.
And if he is going to be shelved for SummerSlam and beyond, then maybe you do something at Money in the Bank and you do an interim champion.
Yes.
And you can use the big gold belt or something.
Yes.
And throw that up there above the ring.
Oh,
use some of those names that I threw in there as potential opponents to build up to Cody in that match.
Mm-hmm.
All of them former champions.
Yep.
Except for Cody. And you could have Cody in the match for the briefcase.
There you go.
I have a match idea if you want to hear it, gentlemen, because I mentioned this. Pat McAfee versus Roman Reigns with Tom Brady as the special guest referee. If that is not a money drawing fucking matchup in sports entertainment, I don't know what is.
Right.
I know. And listen, I know people aren't always Brady fans. I get that, but people weren't the biggest fans of Logan. People weren't the biggest fans of Logan Paul. At the end, begrudgingly, he won me over. He performed great.
Yes.
And it's and Brady. It's not like a former Patriot is a stranger to competing in WWE. Hello, Rob Gronkowski, Pat McAfee as well. So, well, even though he wasn't a Patriot, he was a Colt. So it's like, listen, Pat. Like, I get it. No, everybody hates Tom Brady, probably besides me, because I'm living in the area, so like and I love what he's doing in at Patriot South, which is what I call the Tampa Bay,
Jesus, here we go with
Buccaneers. So
I'm so glad I only watch professional wrestling.
But the reason why I say you should do it is because for two legitimate reasons. It's a great link to their respective football careers. Like, you got Pat McAfee in the NFL with the Colts. You got Roman Reigns in the Canadian Football League, who would have been a pro had he not gotten leukemia the first time.
Yep.
It really does work well if you bring Tom Brady into either ref the match or at the very least be an enforcer, right?
Yep.
That's what you should do,
yes,
in my opinion, because first off, it's just you want to be, if you're doing sports entertainment, your number one goal is to make money, right? What is more money than having that program the way I just laid it out?
Yes.
So
before we move on, we if nothing else, the Jeff Meacham Network, we definitely have concern and love and respect and appreciation for our viewers. Somebody please get to Cleveland and get the tuck-up wine out of Josh's hands now.
Yeah.
For love of God, Josh, put the bottle down, bud. It's okay.
Listen.
Lord.
Yes, Gronk is great. No one's denying that.
No, not at all.
But
I love Gronk. He's great.
But for the love of God, Brady, listen, just because Brady was involved in dumb crap, which I admit Belichick has done, I'm not excusing that he hasn't. I know he has.
Fuck Bill Belichick. But anyway, carry on.
Exactly. I'm actually on that bandwagon now.
I'm so glad somebody else is up there.
For real. No, because
I hate that mucker.
He is the sole reason. He is the sole reason why Brady gets the hate that he does. If it wasn't for Gronk, I'm sorry, if it wasn't for Gronk, Gronk is great. If it wasn't for
Belichick, that pieces
Brady would not be nearly as hated.
Not at all. Not at all.
For real. Like it's all on Belichick. I'm sorry. For the people, for the Patriots fans that want to come in here and get on my case, hey, listen, here's a little thing for you. All right. You know it's true. Okay.
I am very much anti-Patriots because of Bill Belichick. You take him out of that equation, you take him out of the GM title, you take him off the sidelines as coach. I won't say I'll buy Patriots stuff tomorrow, but the fact that I'm actually able to sit in a room with Patriots bed sheets and not have a completely hives breakout, I'm okay with that because Belichick's not here in the room with me. He is the one really bad egg in the NFL that I get the freaking like massive hives and breaking out of rashes. I can't stand Bill Belichick. He's definitely a Goldberg level for me when it comes to professional football. Just
I will say I love his son if for no other reason but his facial reactions. They're hilarious.
Yeah, I love his son because he seems to be everything that Bill isn't when it comes to being a coach and being a person, which is awesome.
Poor Stat Boy.
I think we triggered Stat Boy. He's finally going to have something to say.
Yeah, okay. Mikey, with that being said, are we going back to Roman, or are we on the football thread still?
No. I'm going to ask and maybe even request that it is 12:15 on the East Coast. I have to go to work tomorrow. So my suggestion is I'm going to tag in Josh. He can have my spot for the rest of the show if you guys are cool with it.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
I mean, he says he's sober, so
this is very true. Let me see if I can figure out how to.
Cool with that, I will gladly say my goodnights. Say thank you for having me on the show. Don't forget, Statboy Rants is coming back on April 28th. I put out a teaser tweet with a new hashtag, ask Statboy to rant about, and then put your request in there, and I will consider it, and I will rant about it. Okay? Cool.
Can't find plug. Must hurry before he closes his window. Damn thing won't go fast enough.
All right,
there it is.
There we go. Yay!
There it
is. Yes.
Statboy Rants, baby.
So Josh is down, so just bear with me here, kids.
And we got JJ. I want JJ to continue his thought. I just wanted to add that to his point about Cody and Ron.
Trust me, JJ knows anytime we can rag on Bill Belichick is never a bad time for good old JM. So that's okay. Ever.
Problem is I lose my train of thought.
Yeah, no. Okay, so you were in the middle of talking about potential opponents for
yes,
and that's why I brought up Mcafee with
and he brought the Mcafee family into football. But your tweet basically kind of highlighted major names. And might I add, next week it's Cody versus Miz.
Yes.
Yeah, see. But yeah, that's what I would do. That's how I would handle the situation if Roman is going to be gone past SummerSlam.
Yes.
That way we have an interim champion that can defend the belt at SummerSlam. And then once Roman comes back, we have Roman versus the interim champion. And Roman can go over and add a third belt. One around his waist and one over each shoulder.
Roman 3 belts.
I would say that yes, but then there is an issue. If you do give Cody the belts, the interim title, you have to give him the win. I feel like.
Yeah.
That's assuming Cody gets the strap.
Like
I was saying to put Cody in the Money in the Bank match,
right,
and have him win the briefcase.
Yeah.
And then if by some miracle we get Roman versus Rocky at Mania, Cody can cash in post-match.
True. That's true.
But also, you probably would be trying to upstage what Seth Rollins did, and I wonder if that would feel as big, because I know W's no stranger to retconning, repeating stuff, hello, but it's just one of those things where it's like, do we need another cash-in at WrestleMania in particular when it comes to a Roman Reigns match, too? It almost feels like, a foreseen occurrence. I would say no, but again, it comes down to that idea. Again, they have no plan B. They already got the SummerSlam packages on sale, $700 what?
You know what you really need? You need Money in the Bank to take place at WrestleMania like it used to be.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But the reason they don't do that anymore is because, I got 2 now. I got the man and the women. Your pre-show could have one hyped up each night, for Pete's sake, versus 2 hours of stupid nonsense.
What a concept. Yeah. Long-term booking again. Yeah. So, Josh, before you were wanting to be, you were very much part of WrestleMania watching.
The Matrix has broken Jeff Meacham again on his own network.
Where?
Yeah.
What do you think about this? Is there a plan? And
why does this always happen?
All right.
So
So
I think what he's asking you, Josh, is do you think there's a plan B for
Yes.
Roman Reigns at this time?
Yeah, let's get your
I
thoughts.
mean, they kind of have to. I feel like they kind of have to come up with something. The question is he injured? I mean, thing is, I didn't watch SmackDown, but I'm just saying, one, hopefully, if it is he's out, they split the belts up again, and he keeps the Universal, keeps that reign going, let someone else do the WWE title, because there was still talk of, even though these two things are merged, there's still going to be a second world title belt.
That's right, on Raw.
Up for grabs, which, again, I hope at least this title, if they are keeping the WWE and Universal together, not just splitting them up again here anytime soon, that they keep both lineages, just so the WWE title lineage.
If they combine the lineages, then I'm fine with merging the titles, but they have to do that. I will accept nothing less. You need.
That's why I was against a title unification match in the first place. Right. But if he is injured, I feel they have no choice.
Don't do this New Japan. Don't do this New Japan V5 nonsense where you're going to have a damn title looking like Cody's damn tattoo on his neck.
Don't get me started on that. Continue, Josh.
I don't think I'm a fan of interim champions. I think Brock screwed us in a way with when he was champion and gone for so long. Because I miss the times of if you can't defend your title for 30 days, you're stripped of the title.
Exactly.
That's how it should still be, flat out.
But that's how Vacant has so many title reigns.
Better freaking be there. It doesn't matter if there's so many titles.
Yeah, it's great. No, just don't defend it and then just win it back, and then you got so many title reigns.
Freaking Vacant owes the world. Oh, Lord.
But that's where I'm at on that. If I really think what they should do, they shouldn't have Cody beat Reigns. I don't think that's the way that they should go right now.
Not now.
Again, if they split the belts up, Reigns continues with the Universal one.
Yep.
If anything, I say make a match for the WWE title at Backlash and then have Cody win it at like the next pay-per-view or two down the road. I think it'd be great to actually see Cody win it from Edge over anyone.
Okay.
That's a unique idea, but again, you got to organically build it. You don't want a hodgepodge here. Renegade now has a thought.
Yeah, go ahead, JJ.
Number one, the reason I want Cody to defeat Roman is it's a battle of the bloodlines. Cody is all about doing this because of his father.
Yep.
You know, Roman is part of the legendary Anoa'i family.
Yep.
So you've got bloodline versus bloodline for the championship. Number two, I don't think that Edge is there right now to win titles. He's there to put over the next generation. That's why Priest is in his stable. That's why they're talking about Ciampa for his stable. Too. Yep. That's why they're talking about Rhea for his stable. That way, when Edge hangs him up, and Edge has said himself, he doesn't see himself going more than another year, 2 tops. That's what Edge is there to do. If he gets a world title, great. And if they can push them like the Horsemen or Evolution, where everyone's got a belt, even better. But that's not Edge's goal. It's not like during the La Familia days when he wanted everybody around him to be champions.
Right.
Now it's about making sure that the people that are going to come behind him in this business are ready for that spotlight. Priest was great when he got called up to the roster, but as soon as he got that IC title,
US,
whatever. I wasn't really watching back then, so forgive me for not being too up on that.
Yeah, you're right.
But as soon as he got the mid card title, all the glamour began to wear from him. It's Edge's job to get that shine back on him.
That is valid.
Same thing with Ciampa, you know. Ciampa was talking about not even wanting to come up to the main roster because of the way people get treated from NXT up there. But I think him with Edge was a huge selling point for him if they end up going that route. Like I said, that's just a heavy rumor that we've heard. Same with Rhea.
Right.
You know, are they going to keep Rhea and Liv together and put them both into his stable, or are they going to break them up? Time will tell. I'm really enjoying this Rhea Liv partnership.
Yes.
But that's why you don't want it to be Edge right now. You know, you've got so many names, and I was just cherry picking off of the Raw roster, with the exception of Drew and Nakamura. But I mean, you still got so many guys on the SmackDown roster that can be in the pecking order, that Edge can be way down here. And Edge can be that Foley type of champion that you just call in now to carry the belt a few yards out of bounds for the first down and give it to somebody else to get that touchdown.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to be that long-term champion.
Agreed.
Roman needs it. Cody needs it.
Yeah, true.
They're the only two in the company right now that truly needs it, and only one so far hasn't ever done it.
Yes.
I completely agree, and I wasn't thinking of Edge as a long-term champion. I was just thinking him as a, in-between transfer champion. Like,
he's been his most of his career anyway. Yeah.
But you don't want an in-between transfer champion running a stable either.
Exactly, because that hurts the identity of the stable, because you would expect the stable to protect that champion at all times.
Yeah, that is an issue.
And they're in a corner. They don't got a plan B. They're in a freaking corner. Again, that Kimura, we saw the shoulder pop out. He literally said to Paul Heyman, "It's out." We've seen the struggle of him literally just holding these championships. The only thing they can do at this point is preserve Roman till SummerSlam, because if he's not at SummerSlam, WWE's in serious trouble.
And here's another thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Josh.
I was gonna say, if he's not wrestling at Backlash defending one of those titles, then that flat out tells you he is injured, despite whatever virtue may claim on Twitter that he's playing us. Yeah, if he's injured, he's not wrestling.
They would use Backlash for a number one contenders match in that case. And right now, it sounds like they're trying to do something with Nakamura.
Should be an own champion.
Yeah, they probably won't
do that. AEW's playbook. Anyway, let me put this in perspective as well. WWE, while I was critical of the WWE like earlier in the podcast about like not building for the future, there is glimmers of hope, and it's very similar to how the Attitude Era began. And I really think it all started with the MLW lawsuit. I don't know if anybody kept up to date with that, but like WWE flat out had to admit that their product wasn't good compared to AEW. They flat out admitted that in court, just so that way he can get out of the suit. And that killed Vince inside. Yeah, I think this is and I want this, by the way. I want him to be pissed off. I want him to care. And it looks like he's starting to go that route. Look at the examples here. You got Logan Paul, right? He just came in and Vince already saw something in him. Dude, you're a natural at this, which I agree with, begrudgingly. Right? It's very similar to how Ken Shamrock came into the company. Now, granted, Ken Shamrock actually had experience prior, but it's very similar in that regard. And Logan Paul's there now. He could build a few stars up. You have Edge now leading the stable. He could build a few stars up. You have Cody now. If you give him the U.S. title and not the championship right off the bat, let's not even consider that as a possibility. You could have him build a few stars up that way. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not. It's not. I'll do the whole Bruce cliche. Let it play out, right? Because you do have to. That said, for people that are still begrudgingly not wanting to give the WWE a chance, it's well deserved. How many times have they screwed us over?
Exactly.
You can count.
Exactly.
One of WWE's biggest problems in the last, I don't even know how many
decade
years.
Plus.
I was going to say, because it's been about a decade since I watched full time.
You could even go as far as a decade and a half, truly.
But one of the biggest problems that they've had in the last, we'll say 5 to 10 years.
Yes.
Is hot-shotting over long-term storytelling.
Yep.
Now, the problem is that they're playing to their PG audience. Yep. And unfortunately, the kids today don't have the brain capacity for long-term stories.
Nope.
No.
So there's certain titles that you can use as hotshot storylines, but you need to have long-term stories for your world title, your women's title, and even your mid-card titles. Your tag team belts, the 24/7 championship, if that's even still a thing anymore. I haven't seen it in forever.
It's still a thing. It's on Dana Brooke.
I want to put this out to further your point, actually, JJ. We really want to go to a point where you want to, if WWE really needs to do this hotshot booking. Here's a freaking grand idea. How about bringing a couple championships back? Hello? European title. There's something there. Want to bring that back? Bring it back. I remember how many times did they hotshot that? Oh, what were you saying? Sorry.
I said, or bring the Cruiserweight title back onto one of the main shows.
It's almost like they never should have gotten rid of it and actually treated it with some damn respect.
The hell you say?
You know?
I was telling Jeff, here's a thought for some long-time storytelling. WrestleMania 37, Bianca Belair beats Sasha Banks. Yep. This year, Bianca Belair beats Becky Lynch.
Yep.
Next year, Bianca Belair versus Bayley.
Yep.
WrestleMania 40, Bianca versus Charlotte.
The mountain, the opportunity,
all four horsewomen
left
at Mania.
That would be incredible.
I could absolutely see it. Yeah, and that would build a great star there.
And they've already done half of it without even really trying to think about it long term.
Exactly.
Undertaker was already like 4 or 5-0 before they were like, "You realize you're undefeated?" Like they're already halfway through the 4 horsewomen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just run it the rest of the time.
Top stars. That's their top stars, and one, of course, is still out.
Leave it for Charlotte, since she's the GOAT out of all of them. As much as it pains me to say those freaking words, for WrestleMania 40, final boss.
Here's the thing, though: will Charlotte even last that long, or will she want to get the hell out of here? Listen,
if she's not, then she can be the one at 39 and make Bayley the final boss.
Well, here's the thing about that, and here's the only reason why I question that. Did you not see her interview with Ariel Helwani when she's crying about both Flair and Ric Flair specifically, and Andrade being out of the company, and just she's a wreck, and like she just is. I mean, I'm not saying she's a saint or anything, but like, you really think she's going to stay that long if she's already miserable just not being with them?
It depends.
Before anybody says anything about, let me just point out right now, and I'm a little inside baseball here. Ariel is very, very good at spinning things. And granted, we saw her actually say it, and I'm not going to deny that. But that guy is bad news. And I will leave it at that without getting too deep into the water there. That guy and his style and his bullshit are just that. So
you make a name for yourself however you can at the expense of whoever.
And he is very much that dude, Noah. And again, like I'm trying very hard to not go too deep into the waters because I don't know how to swim for real. So just don't.
He floats, Noah.
So before we
all right, fair enough.
Before we get into 2 topics that I know are going to be very, very I don't know about divisive.
Poor Josh.
But very
poor.
What?
Josh got to say his piece on what we were just talking about.
Okay.
Quit losing my show, James. God damn it. Anyway,
I'm just trying to be courteous. I'm sorry.
You're not being courteous.
Reminder.
Anyway, so all right, here we go. Again, I got to make money, so there it is. I'm not going to say it. Just hit. There's the graphic. Whatever.
Friendly reminder to all of our viewers out there in internet land.
Okay, go ahead, JJ.
Super chat donation will get you acknowledged as if you're Roman Reigns. $4.99 and up, you get to introduce your own topic, which we will then discuss as soon as we are done discussing the topic at hand. And for $9.99 or up, you get to do like Josh did, who granted he got the hot tag from Statboy. that you get to join us on screen and introduce your own topic.
Yeah.
And if you're camera shy, don't worry about being on video. We just love to get your voice because, again, your opinions matter.
Exactly.
Especially, all opinions matter as long as they aren't disagreeing with me. No. As long as you keep it coherent and intelligent, you're welcome on with us, kids.
Wait, you and I disagree about the WWE all the time. How am I survived?
What? Because you gotta have some yin with the yang.
That's right. You got the yin and the yang, or just no fun that way.
True.
Which is why Aaron gets such a hair up his ass when we all agree on predictions. Like, well, this is boring. It's like, what the fuck do you do this prediction show then for? If you want us to disagree, have a discussion or a panel instead. Predictions on who I think's gonna win. Anyway,
or do something besides the WWE pay-per-view that's 99% obvious usually.
Which is why we do more than that on this channel. Rebellion in 2 weeks. Okay,
so God, for other companies, but I digress.
All right, so this one's going to be something that I know at least two of us are going to have a lot to say about. So here we go. Let's just go ahead and reveal what's up. Okay. Oh, Miss Tammy, I'm going to go second to last because I definitely want JJ to give his thoughts on this because JJ and Noah's done. Noah's turned his chair around, so he's not going to talk about this, which is fine.
I don't blame him, but
I'm just going to sit back and eat popcorn. I don't have popcorn. Actually, I'll get some goldfish. You guys talk. I'm going to get goldfish.
Even better. All right. I won't single anybody out and put them on solo blast with the picture because that's just cruel and unusual punishment at the train wreck she's become. But Josh, let me ask you first. You're very much of the crowd that did not get to see Sunny in her sunny days. You've seen pretty much the train wreck and the aftermaths, plural. We all heard the story this week about this alleged fatal car wreck she was involved in with another person opposite her, let's say, in the transaction. Is this going to be the one that finally goes, okay, I need to get my shit fixed and get help for this before I really do? There's not much worse you can do than kill another person. I mean, really.
Right.
So where are you on Tammy Sytch?
I mean, I have not seen any of her work ever. I haven't even watched her Hall of Fame induction. I think I maybe watched it once, but I don't know much of her work. I just know of her promiscuous activities of her younger days, especially with good old Shawn Michaels. I do remember hearing about that, and at latest being Dolph Ziggler.
Did you hear about the one? Did you hear about the one that was confessed recently about British Bulldog? Or being brought back to surface recently?
Oh, no, I haven't. I just knew.
Did she just... Everybody that Sean accused Diana? Like, seriously?
Probably.
Yeah. Jesus. Anyway.
But I think the fact that I don't know of how many of her former peers and colleagues have reached out to her, or if they have, if she's just, shown them the door.
Right.
I feel like the only two who probably could get through to her, one, DDP, just because.
Dallas, right. Yep.
DDP. Yeah, that was the first name I thought of.
Mm-hmm. The only other one I can think of, because she has spoken so highly of him, specifically in the bedroom, but I'm making no.
If you're gonna say Dolph Ziggler, what?
No.
I was about to say.
Shawn Michaels.
Not saying Dolph, saying Shawn.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels.
I feel like Shawn might be able to get through to
her. That wife of his is not letting that happen. I'm gonna tell you that
that's
right now.
I have. That's really all I got.
Right, James. But before you take your turn, I will say this: having the opportunity at least to get to interact with the clique and most of the misses of the cliques, not Stephanie, because I ain't got that kind of fucking clout, but I'm not even gonna lie. Rebecca seems like a very forgiving person, and she is a Christian first and foremost. It seems like to me that much like Dallas in the respect in the vein of he can help anybody if they let themselves be helped. Our boy Bagwell's down there right now getting his shit together. Yeah, he's outpatient, unlike Scott and Jake were, but he's still down there, collectively getting the shit together when he's not out at a show. So good on Buff, man. Again, people shit on Mark. The fact that he and Conrad and Bischoff made nice after he was on our show, dude, I applaud everybody involved with that discussion. Everybody. But if Dallas can't do it, or Dallas is not the only person involved, I can definitely see the Hickenbottoms maybe turning around, because Chris isn't here anymore, obviously. Chris had that horrible, just complete freak thing in TNA with the blood clot and the flight home and everything, which was so dumb. James, again, you've been a fan. Again, Josh didn't really get to see much of Tammy's work. Do you think there is a salvation at the end of this road, or do you think there is it's just going to lead to more and more deep dives into darkness at this point?
If this was 10 years ago, I would have gone with option B, but because DDP exists and he's helped people like Razor, before ultimately the pandemic claimed another victim. Thanks.
Right.
And
Jake and Mark and Cody and all those guys too.
Yeah. Lots of people. And currently Jericho, from what I understand, then I can absolutely see Sunny making a turnaround. I don't see why she wouldn't take the opportunity to go to DDP. I think that's the person she should go to. Like, nothing against. Here's the thing. Sean might be a good guy at heart, but let's not kid ourselves. I mean, Cash Wheeler just came out with it recently. He still has those dickish tendencies.
He's next on the list, by the way, of topics, so we'll get there.
Yeah. I don't think Sean is the right person just because of that. That's not to begrudge Shawn Michaels and what he's doing now with NXT, or at least attempting to do now. Not even begrudging him currently. But as far as this goes, Sean isn't the right person for her to be living with in any capacity whatsoever.
Well, I'm not
especially given their history
or anything by any means.
Well, you know what I mean. Trying to get better with them and whatnot.
Right.
The best person is DDP.
Nope. I got you. Noah, you were very comical at the outset as far as like, nope, I ain't touching this with a 50-foot pole. But again, you've been a fan long enough to know at least of Sunny, other than Tammy. Where are you at on the original Divas? It says there on my graphic that I tried to put together there.
As far as I'm concerned, she's made a lot of mistakes, and either she's going to find salvation or it's going to lead to total self-annihilation. At the end of the day, you all summed it up perfectly. DDP right now would be the best point to go to, but she has to be willing enough to accept the fact that she's made mistakes and she wants to reform from that. It's not like DDP, who can definitely try and reach out to her himself, but she has to be willing to go through that type of stage of remorse and self-reflection and find a better state in herself. I think anybody definitely can find light at the end of a dark tunnel, but it all comes down if the individual themselves want to seek it. This isn't going to come to you. I have hopes for her, and I'm praying for her at this point, because this is the fifth thing now we've heard, and each one's becoming worse and worse and worse. It's got to stop, or it's going to be game over for her very soon.
Yeah, if not for somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. So, Jay, there's a reason I came to you last. You and I both know the reason. I'll go ahead and throw the image up there for everybody that is not aware of why I came to you last on this. Back in, give me a year.
2007.
Back in 2007, they were JJ and Tammy were both at a convention in San Francisco that has become notoriously known as the Frisco Fiasco amongst our circle. It was one of the worst wrestling convention things as far as personally we go, because JJ had a complete medical issue that Tammy here was basically his guardian angel through. And if you want to get into specifics, JJ, that is totally up to you. I'll let you, because this is your story to tell. But I did want you to go last, because I do know you and I have a more close, as far as meeting her multiple times, connection with Tammy than probably anybody else in the room. So where do you stand on the woman who you have called for 15 years now, your guardian angel?
Well, for starters, if I may, can I ask you to take the solo shot away? Because
Sure.
I'm afraid of how emotional I may come off in this.
This is about to get real deep, folks. Real talk.
Would you rather be the graphic just overlay the whole thing, or?
No. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
For clarification, it did not become known as the Frisco fiasco because of the personal issue that I'm about to speak of. It became known as the Frisco fiasco because the promoter bailed without paying a good chunk of the talent that was there.
Oh, geez. That's right.
So that's why it got the name. And then it essentially became on the talent of, did they want to disappoint the thousands upon thousands of fans that traveled there to see them, or did they want to suck it up and do what they were booked to do, even though they're not getting paid to do it?
Right.
That's why it became known as the Frisco fiasco. But
my apologies. I forgot about the actual business side of it being a fiasco. My sincere apologies.
No. It's okay. I understand why you would make the mix up there, but this was a 3-day event, and the Friday, the first day, I'm standing in line to meet insert wrestler here. I forget which one was the featured one that I was in line for that day, as there were so many of them that weekend. I met her. I met Crime Time when they were on their hiatus from the company. Only picture I have with Shad, by the way, because him and JTG together. I met Christian, Gail Kim when she was Knockouts champion. David Faustino, Bud Bundy from Married with Children was there. The Steiner brothers, Piper, etc. The list goes on and on. But I was in line to meet whomever, and I had an episode. I'm epileptic. I have had seizures since I was 10 months old. And I dropped right there on the floor and started having one. Tammy, having been familiar with Chris Candido, who had seizures in his career, was the only person on site who knew what was happening and rushed over to my side. Took care of me. This picture was taken Sunday, so a couple days later, she was still there. Was able to see her again, thank her. And to this day, like Jeff alluded to, I referred to her as my guardian angel, even though I knew I wasn't going to die. You know, I've had these things on and off, but there had been a significant enough gap, 16 years to be exact, between episodes that, you know, when there's that much time, you wonder if it's going to be major. Is there going to be brain damage this time? Whatever. But enough time had passed in between episodes that, you know, you kind of wonder if that's going to be the one that takes you out. Hell, Cameron Boyce from The Descendants died in his sleep while having a seizure.
Yep.
That very well could have been my fate.
Nice.
But it wasn't. And Tammy was there. So I've always had a special connection to Tammy. Whenever I see her pop up on social media, sometimes I will send her a message and she remembers me to this day, asks how I'm doing, asks if I'm taking my medications regularly like I'm supposed to, the whole nine. You know, when I discovered she had an OnlyFans page, subscribed to her, messaged her, actually got her to send me a couple of 8x10s. I paid for the 8x10s, you know. She signed them as your guardian angel.
Oh, that's
Sytch.
Damn. Even
So
told Jay that if she was actually granting interviews at that point, we would be one of the first, because she remembers JJ and was always, you know, at least fond of me for many years. So we actually got that little caveat, which was nice.
So it always pains me when I see these type of stories about her, because it's like, girl, you were there for me. You need to start being there for yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, unfortunately, she's always ran in the wrong circles, the wrong pun intended, clicks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the other name I would throw out as someone who might be able to talk to her because they were able to bring Bruno home. They were able to bring some of the wounded back to the fold. Why not Hunter and Stephanie?
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
You know, if anybody knows what she has done for this business, Stephanie knows.
Yep.
Growing up.
Yeah.
Josh, you said you don't know her, you've never seen her work. This woman right here managed 3 consecutive tag teams to the gold. The Bonnie Donnas, the Smoking Guns, and the Godwins.
Yep.
A feat that was only one-upped by Paul Heyman doing it with the world title.
Yes.
So I definitely recommend you go back to 96, 97 and watch some of that stuff.
Yep. And believe it or not, I believe it's 4. Didn't she manage the Road Warriors for a bit as well?
They weren't champions, though.
But they weren't champions.
Really? Oh, I thought
not during that run. No.
You have to remember.
2000 run.
Yeah, I was gonna remember. You have to remember, James, that she came in to manage Hawk and Animal as they were being repackaged after the Outlaws punked them out. But the Outlaws were still the champions, and they didn't lose the titles until they got thrust into the Kane, Mankind, Undertaker, Austin storyline in the summer of '98. So they were never going to be the champions as long as that was going on. It was just a, hey, let's just sum up with the Road Warriors, and then they ended up doing the whole drinking storyline, which, God, anyway,
don't even
that's
get
a whole
me
other
started.
show. Jesus.
No, but
anyway, JJ, I'm sorry, continue.
It's okay. It's just it's hard to hear these stories about her. Like I said,
yeah.
I'm waiting for the toxicology reports to come back and see if she was under the influence, because that's the one variable that hasn't been reported yet that I've seen. And like, if she wasn't under the influence and it was a fluke, it's gonna make me feel slightly better.
Yeah.
But then you just worry about her at that point. Like, how did that even happen? Like, did she just fall asleep behind the wheel? Is it just everything catching up to her? Like, what's going on?
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, not to make a ha-ha, but like, I've seen here lately in SoCal, the winds kick up so bad that it literally blew a car into like a phone pole.
Yeah.
That very well could have been what happened. If
the winds up here are knocking floods, dude.
You know, who's to say that some kind of Mother Nature didn't push her into the car?
Yeah, because that was a nice Mercedes too that she was driving. Man, I can't imagine the thought process unless she was under the influence, which again, we don't know yet. Man, but get behind the wheel of that car and you know what you're doing and you mess it up. That's criminal in of itself, because that's a beautiful friggin' car.
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't even know that you could have winds that strong in Cali. Like,
oh my God, dude, the Santa Ana's out here. Like, okay, full disclosure, I'm pushing 330. Then Mucker Brothers knocked me over, like on the regular. Wow. So yeah, the winds out here are absolutely batshit crazy, dude. I can't even,
Have they always been like that? Have they always been like that?
They've gotten worse lately. They've gotten worse the last few years.
The weather pattern, we're totally going off in the weeds here, but I'm okay with it actually. The weather patterns out here have gotten completely nuts since that El Nino thing hit about 20, 25 years ago. Like, it's colder than it's ever been. It's hotter than it's ever been. When we do get, not to be a dick, but East Coast style weather, it hits us like a freaking train wreck. We get so little rain here that when it, we need the rain. We don't need it all at once, assholes.
Yeah, no.
Like, it's crazy out here.
So do you mean El Nino or El Reno?
No, El Nino. The one I want to say it was like in the late 90s, because I remember them talking about it on every freaking show, wrestling, sports, news.
Right. Yeah, no, it was a big story. Now crazy. I remember that you bring that up there, because that's the only reason I know what it is, because of wrestling. But I'm actually like a Storm Chaser, like avid viewer.
Oh,
and
wow.
I know about the El Reno, And so, like, when you said
El
that,
Reno
I was
was
like,
also a thing,
El Reno.
yeah.
And it's like, El Reno, for those who don't know, I mean, if you weren't worried about the weather patterns currently, I mean, I hate to use the F word for this, but seriously, there's no other word to say it. Fuck. It's bad. It's bad. This tornado, like, they were seriously considering making a new category for EF6. That's how bad this thing was. Like, and I don't think people realize how bad. Like, it was a powerful twister, like to the point where it was like doing multiple vortices. It was just a big giant stone wedge that, like, like my house is here and my house goes like at least 2 feet down. Combine out about like 10 of those. That's how big this thing was. It was massive. So, like, I hear stuff like that, and it's just like, oh my god, like, what if that's what happened to Tammy now? You know, like the wind just getting too, because I never heard of this until you guys brought it up. I didn't even know it was that much of an issue because, quite frankly,
that's the thing
I choose not to worry about it.
But that's what JJ was trying to make. And a lot of it is we don't know. And people just assume the worst because of what's been going on with her the last, 10, 12 years or so. So,
Okay, so at the end of the day, I mean, this comes down to the IWC being the IWC. Wait until the report is fully out, assholes. All right, anyway.
As simple as that. Good summary.
And so,
social media sucks.
Right. And for me personally, I interviewed Mariah Moreno yesterday. For those of you who missed that, please go check that out. This is the show I was talking about. This is the last XPW show, the actual, why can't I zoom? There it goes. The last real XPW show that was run by Rob Black under the original booking, whatever you want to call it. My birthday, 19 years ago, 2003. Chris and Tammy were both booked on the show. It's the only time I actually saw Chris wrestle in person that I remember. Anyway, they both signed a picture of them together for me, and Tammy, God love her, posed for this picture after I had her sign a second 8x10 that was adorned with her Vixens gallery, and I'll leave it at that. She was low because, like, she just didn't want everybody that was younger than me to see the pictures because there were some kids at an XPW show, which I found very weird. But she was good as gold.
Bad parenting. Oh, sorry, that's just really bad parenting.
That's no parenting, James.
Yeah. If you're consciously letting your minor kid or bringing your minor kid to an XPW show, be it 2003 or 2022, you need to go to Department of Public Social Services. Thank you very much. Good Lord.
I'm not going to ask.
Especially back then. Nowadays, Rob's not dipping into the other side of the business as much anymore, as far as I know, at all anymore. So maybe now, because they actually have a show next weekend.
Don't give them any. Don't give them any ideas. OnlyFans is a hell of a profitable business.
Oh gosh, no shit.
Just based on that, I know I'm not.
Ask Tony Storm. I have friends that have Tony Storm's OnlyFans account.
Don't fucking bang them out like that. God damn, Noah.
All I got to say as far as the XPW show that's coming next week is Taya Valkyrie is booked. Need I say more?
She's going to be the very first XPW women's champion, and they are making a big deal out of that for the record. So
that's cool.
I mean, again, good on them. Anyway, I'm with JJ. I've gone back and forth on Tammy because she's outright attacked people that I've considered closer than her and I are maybe closer than she and JJ were. So she's made it very difficult, but I also know that, she was one of the trendsetters, if not the trendsetter. She was always good to me when I was there. She was always good to me and mine in person and over social media, direct interactions. So I hope whatever this is, she pulls the proverbial nose up.
Exactly.
Most downloaded woman on the internet, was it 95 or 96, Jeff?
96. She surpassed Pamela Anderson on AOL downloads. Okay?
What?
Perspective.
Yeah, for me.
Think about that for a moment.
That's Baywatch.
Yeah.
Wait,
That's Baywatch / Playboy.
/ slash the video was already out, and those were getting downloaded at that point too.
Was about to ask that question.
Wire.
Dang.
Yeah. Barbed Wire was out where she's granted a lot less naked than in the home video, but she's still naked in that. Yeah. Tammy not having posed nude yet at all, nor intending to at that point, had more downloads on AOL, which in '96 was the standard, was the stat, if you will, Mikey. She had more downloads on AOL than Pamela Anderson Lee.
Fair enough.
There you go.
God,
and again, ones in the history of that time period for sure.
I was gonna say for what it was in '96.
Hold on, JJ. Go ahead, JJ.
I was just going to say, so I hope we lightened it up a little bit here at the end, because as Noah pointed out, we were about to get deep. I got really deep here and laid a lot of it out on the table. So
real talk.
Well, I'm glad you pointed out that this could have been a weather phenomenon, because that thought didn't even cross my mind. And now that I know that the freaking report hadn't come out yet,
well, I mean, there's so much crazy weather up there in y'all's part of the world anyway, so. For real.
The odds that it was something like that are probably slim, but I just wanted to throw out there, what I have physically seen here in California, and California is not where you'd expect something like that.
Until the report is out fully, stop reporting it as if it's fucking fact. You stupid dirt sheets. Stop it. Stop doing it.
That's how they make their money, James. That's how they do their business.
Oh, and speaking of which, might as well segue into the next freaking topic, considering we don't have the whole information on that either.
No, but it has been the most prevalent news story of the week, and I do want to bring it up as we get into starting our third hour, which I didn't intend to do, but fuck it, whatever.
Oh,
well, it's second hour.
So, no, we're ending the second hour. We're starting the third hour. Don't you correct me. Oh. We went from 8 to 10. We're now starting
at 8 o'clock. No, we're going into the third hour.
Okay, I see the clock. I didn't see the clock. Good Lord.
Yeah, go ahead.
Has both the people that help me conceptualize this show correct me and talk over me. I'm about to have a conniption. I'm about due for one anyway. So anyway,
I'm sorry.
Save it for tomorrow, Doc, so that you can talk about the 88 miles an hour and the 1.21 gigawatts.
And we will talk about that as we end the show, because it's going to be awesome.
Oh, Back to the Future. Right. I didn't get that reference at first.
That's okay. Neither did half the audience, because they're all it's freaking 1 o'clock in the morning.
I love that. Hey, listen, I love Back to the Future. So I appreciate
as you should, damn it, as you should. Best movie of all time. All right, next. All right.
I've only seen like 2 of them.
You 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
You heathen, Josh.
Heresy. Anyway,
I'm going to give Josh 2 out of 3, because depending on how you look at it, both 2 and 3 definitely have their weak points.
I think the only ones I've seen are 1 and 3.
Fair.
Okay, you got to see part 2 then when he goes to the
part
future.
2 because
maybe I've seen parts of each. I guess I don't know.
Then after you watch part 2, you've got to go on YouTube and look up Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd coming on to Jimmy Kimmel on the date in 2015 where they arrived in the future, and realizing how shit's not anywhere near how they predicted.
Yeah, they were way off with what they were figuring.
Yeah, no, if you like pro wrestling, you would love the Back to the Future series, for real.
Sorry, James, I'm the baby here. I was 4 years old when the XFL came out in 2001.
Dude, I was 5.
Oh, you're
go ahead and reel this back in for the old timers in the room. Clearly, the young folk don't know what's happening.
I think Jeff is losing what little bit hair
that was 2 on the nose. Oh my God, that was
back in my day. We did have cars.
I think Jeff has just lost what little bit of hair that he had left on his head.
Hey, Jeff, do a Cornette quote in that voice. Go.
I don't even know a Cornette quote because I have no respect for Jim Cornette at this point. Anyway,
neither do I.
Same.
The go home topic.
Lord.
In the interest of, I had a great funny and I was going to say it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So, there we go. So back in my day, when people were downloading AOL and WCW's CompuServe for pay-per-view coverage, we had Shunny getting downloaded for all the naughty pictures. Anyway, all right, now.
Oh, God.
By the way, I only want to do Jim Cornette because he has way less quality drive-through choices than I do. Anyway,
that's true.
You're not wrong. That's funny.
There we go.
Oh,
I'm not lying,
Lord.
but I'm not wrong. That's right. So,
All
okay. This one is such a mucker fudder for so many reasons, but I'll go ahead and bring it up really quick before I actually show the picture. Now, we don't even know if he's been released, for one thing. It's all allegedly. It's all this. It's all that.
Oh, shit.
We've seen the
so we don't even know if he got released yet.
We've seen the tweets from his
No, he's
ex.
released.
Did WWE announce it?
They announced that the NXT titles are vacant.
Did WWE announce that he's actually been released? Yes or no?
Released, no, but they vacated the titles.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't say he's not released.
That just means he's been put on timeout until they figure shit out. So, at best. Anyway.
Exactly.
We don't know the whole story, is what I'm trying to say. And we've seen the pictures from his ex. We've seen the response from his tag team partners, significant other, and her side of the story. We're not going to hear the side of the person involved or his tag team partner because they both still work for the company, and that's the company line they're going to toe, as they should. But my opinion about this is like this. Hearsay and social and accusations and hearsay run amok within WWE. And again, that's all any of this is, y'all, is hearsay and accusations. And this, I feel, is a great topic for I wish we had females in here because I'd love to have a great perspective instead of a big sausage fest on this. But honestly, when is it going to be realized in wrestling communities socially, in human social medias, that if you don't know the whole story, don't assume you know any of the story.
Mm-hmm.
It's so ridiculous to me that this guy, whether he did what he did or he didn't, as far as Kimberly goes, and yes, was it a dumb, very poor decision to pose in a picture, whether it was intended to be posted or not on social media, with a Hitler mustache and haircut doing the freaking the sign? No, that was a dumb fuckery. No question about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But again, and again, people are going to rail me across the coals for it. So be it. This goes back to Hogan for me, as far as Hogan was having a conversation that he was under the understanding that it was private with his son, who was jailed for what amounted to a horrible tragedy that was a complete fluke and accident. And because these damn cops in fill in the county here at the Penelope, whatever it's called down there in Florida, decided to get a wild hair up their ass, they released it to TMZ, boom, or to Gawker, off they go to the races, right? This right here is very simply this. And if you believe Wesley's significant other, I don't know if he's his wife or whatever, she got served divorce papers this week. That's going to mess with anybody's mindset. Everybody in this room, to my knowledge, maybe the exception of Noah and Josh, because I'm not aware of y'all's social lives, and quite frankly, I applaud you for that, by the way. We've all been through breakups. We've all been through bullshit like that. We've all dealt with the heartache of a breakup. Noah, if you haven't, dude,
props to you.
Hashtag single man for life.
Dude, dates since high school.
Dude, if you ever go off the straight edge thing, I have a stone cold broken skull American lager waiting for you to toast you for that, because God bless that decision, dude. You the fucking man. All right. Now, because singledom is the best thing that ever happened to me. Anyway,
same here.
Women and men and any gender you want to throw in there, when they get their hearts broken, when they get served divorce papers, your mindset shifts exponentially.
Yep.
And is he right in having done this? And again, Greg and I talked about this, and a lot of stuff that's gone on in this story has really hit home for me for all the wrong reasons. Is he right to have done this if he did do it? Of course not. Is she right in putting it out on blast for the world to see? Of course not.
Nope. Exactly.
I honestly have major issue with something I've categorized and called retrospective or retroactive condemning. Yeah. My whole thing about that is this. At least in California, maybe the United States, I don't know, but definitely California, there is a thing called statute of limitations. If something happened X amount of years ago, it is null and void at that point in the eyes of the law. Yeah. I only know that because at least on the employment side of things, if you commit a faux pas that warrants definite termination, possible prosecution, after 7 years, you don't have to report it on your resume anymore. So, granted, this obviously happened within the last 7 years, so I'm not even going to try to be a freaking ignorant dingus on that. But why do, and again, I'm legitimately asking the 4 of you in this room, and I'm asking our audience, whoever's left at this point, God bless you guys for staying up late with us. Why do you guys, gals, other genders, I don't have off the top of my head the proper names for because I'm an old, ignorant, old school, stuck in the mud ginger boy. Why is it okay for you guys, gals, etc., to put private, personal shit on public blast? Number one. Number two, why is it okay in the eyes of most that I've observed for if you are a public figure, you as a social media user are entitled to attack negative or comment positively or negatively? Why is that your God-given right? I guarantee you one thing. God, if you believe in God's ultimate power of everything, may have created people, created things. He didn't create the internet on purpose. God's not that stupid.
No.
God didn't make it so you can go on Twitter and go, this guy's got an ugly this. This person. No, I guarantee that wasn't that wasn't his blueprint.
Nope.
So I will go to Noah first because he's the smartest one of us all, being single. God bless you.
Yeah, Noah. and being off social media for most of the time.
Yes, again. Again, the second Noah only gets really worked up when it comes to professional wrestling. Dude, you're my hero.
Seriously. Wish it could be like you.
Where are you on this? Because you seem like the person that would feel like a lot of different ways. Because you're one of the most forgiving people I know. You're very much a person who is in church on the regular, so you understand the sanctity of life and love and all of that goes along with it. Where are you on this whole thing after this whole batshit crazy week? And on top of that, let me ask you this. WWE had to know this was back in the back of that closet. Why in the world would you put the tag straps back on these guys?
I feel like WWE really tries to forget anything associated with their town and just looks at them now and what they could do with them next. Maybe this was their first step towards trying to bring them up into the roster and finally build that RK-Bro betrayal, but that's a whole different thing for another day. But that being said, as far as this goes in context, it's almost like this is 2 years too late when it was more so divulged across a movement where others felt the right in doing so, expressing their story. Everybody at some point goes through an event that changes their lives.
Yep.
Now, a lot of people have used social media to illustrate that or to tell it or to share it. But honestly, what happens with yourself should not be for the world to be aware of. It should be for, pun intended, an inner circle of people you trust that you're close with to help you through that situation. Because the whole damn wrestling fan base isn't going to be out there to help you. There's going to be those that are going to use that to their own advantage and abuse it, TMZ, IWC. But I digress. This is just another big clusterfuck that's ruining 2 people. And I don't know these 2 individuals. I know Kimberly, the wrestler. I've seen this guy as the Rascals, Impact Wrestling. That's about my extent. And honestly, that's all I need to know about them as far as how what they do between themselves affects me and my perspective. Because if it wasn't for social media, I wouldn't have known this shit to begin with. So the fact that right now this came out of nowhere, particularly with these 2, No other like story so far in the wrestling business has followed along with this type of saga of some sort of mistreatment or, you know, abuse. It's one of those things where it's like, again, when this comes up, it throws the whole world into a clusterfuck, and the internet has a field day with it. Truth be told, there are some that engage in conversation because they may have gone through events like it. But what it comes down to is judgment. And what it feels at this point, this is just another way that people claim we have the right to judge this because we either can relate to it, or we can do it, or because we feel for it. And all it does, it just causes a lot more confusion and controversy, negative mentality. It's just a bunch of nonsense, in my opinion, that what happens privately with any individual on God's green earth gets publicized on their own behalf to the point that everybody else feels like they need to talk about it, and we should feel the same way for it. If it wasn't for the internet, there would be a whole lot, I feel, different perspectives when it comes to the way people treat themselves and others. No matter what the individual is, no matter what their origin is, no matter what their race is, no matter what their choice in life is. I go back to the Bible, we have no right to judge anybody. Come as you are. So as far as all this goes, especially across social media, keyword social media, I'm going to let it go among these two and hope to God it gets figured out in a proper way and both can move on with their lives and they will either learn from their mistakes or suffer from them. That's not for me to dictate or to judge. I look at professional wrestling for the wrestlers in the ring, not for what happens in their personal life. It's none of my business.
I'll go right after Noah because I agree with everything he said, and I got a little bit more to add to it as well. Think back to 2002, and I hate to even bring this up, and I hate to bring this up. I'm not even trying to compare the two, but when it comes to this situation, I'm not even trying to compare it with Austin and Deborah. But I bring it up because Austin and Deborah handled it the way they handled it properly with authorities, and they both became better people for it.
Yep. There you go.
The minute you go and post this crap on social media, you lose.
Yep.
You don't have a case.
Nope.
Hate to say it, guys. You don't have a case. I'm sorry if that makes me sound like an asshole. I give a shit. I could give a shit. You don't do that. You don't do that. Because the minute you do that, your argument's invalid. It just is.
Yep.
Like, and by the way, I'm talking from experience. I'm not going to say why, because that's my personal business. But I know how that feels because it doesn't end well. It doesn't. And if you're going to talk about somebody like that, talk about it in the third person. Don't even bring up their name and just try to move on from it if you're that hurt about it. Like, mentioning them by name, I guarantee you is going to cause a lot more grief for you and the person involved that you're mentioning than it is, and it's going to just drag this thing out longer. Everybody wants to talk about why, the authorities never do cases like this. Yeah, why do you think? Because you're all you dope, I don't even know the word to describe it here. All you dope heads decide to go on social media and tweet out about it and then expect everybody to feel sorry for you. We don't want to know. We never wanted to know.
Right.
None of us wanted to know. If it was an issue that you felt that you needed to handle, you should have gone to the proper damn authorities. And you can't tell me that you can't talk about this stuff nowadays, even months after it happened, because guess what, numbnuts? There are places in place where you can go there and you can report the stuff, even if it happened way later beforehand, and file a freaking police report. So that argument's out the effing window now. There is no excuse to put it on social media. And
curiosity ruined the internet.
It's one of those things where people are more comfortable, for whatever reason, with having the social justice warriors handle their business than the actual purveyors of justice, the police, the lawyers, the judges, which I think is, and again, I've said this multiple times, and Josh, I'll go to you. Josh, I'll go to you next. The court of public opinion is much more venomous than the court of law, even in cases like this, because whether he did it or not is now completely irrelevant, because now in the eyes of the court of the public opinion, he's screwed.
Yep.
Yeah. And I feel like I know where
Did we lose Josh? We didn't lose Josh.
No, he's
just
hearing you.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I know where you were segueing in with that one, with how you ended that going to me. Because the perfect example right now is another example of this is with the Cleveland Browns, Deshaun Watson.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, Noah, you can just turn around for this one.
I'm good.
I feel like I don't know how to comment on this one, because as a Browns fan, I'm still dealing with the fallout from that whole crap. And we just found out today that there probably won't be the trial or for the civil cases until after this coming season. That the accusers and Watson's attorneys, everyone agreed to put those civil cases on hold until after the season's over, and the NFL probably won't rule on any possible discipline for Watson until after those civil cases are done, probably.
Which I think is the best approach, honest to God. I really do.
Yeah, and so I don't know if I necessarily agree with innocent or guilty. I don't know about putting it on social media because of I forget what it was called in 2020 when a bunch of women wrestlers came out against what?
Speaking out or Me Too?
Speaking out. It was the same thing. But
I feel like that was a good shift in it as a whole.
Right.
But again, you've had his tag partner's wife come out and defend him. Now, I'm just saying, based off of past WWE experience, it was probably the Hitler picture that did him in, because that's what did in Seth Rollins' ex-girlfriend, Sarah Schreiber, who, posted Seth's dick pic years ago, because she had a Nazi thing herself. That's what did her in. So I think that's probably what did him in more than the accusations, because of the fact that they put the titles on him and probably had info or talking with his tag partner's significant other about the other side of it. So they probably felt safe on that end to put the tag belts back on him. But the Hitler picture did him in. I think.
But again, Josh, and I'll ask you this because you mentioned it, and I'll segue to JJ. If there's even an inkling about that being a thing, Noah said, well, maybe they're trying to, push past it and, get the guy, get the guy's lights around. Even if you're looking past the whole, domestic stuff, again, that picture is not a new picture. We know it's not. So and again, maybe this is just me being cynical about the company, which, granted in this room, not the worst thing. I just don't understand why, if somebody is such a quote unquote hazard, risk, whatever, and there's an inkling there may be further drama, why would you showcase them on a major show the weekend of your major show and then just, we didn't, now they're vacant. It's like, that seems colossally stupid of me from a WWE management, Bruce Pritchard, Vince McMahon, whoever, point of view.
Especially when you consider the fact, Jeff, that they actually recently just named 2 of their Austrian/German wrestlers, or were trying to name them after effing Nazis.
Yeah, well, but again, James, I pointed out earlier, I don't think they knew about that picture. That was a Kimberly.
Oh, now I know. I'm just
add-on. But again, this company is clearly not reading history books, or at least the management's not. JJ, you've been along with me on this crazy ride the last 2 years. I've been along with your crazy ride the last 11 years. man, we've seen social media and the impact, good, bad, and ugly, it's had on wrestling and internet wrestling communities. What do you think about all this? He's getting comfy.
Where to even begin?
That was enough of a statement in itself, so I'm curious what his dissertation is.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, for starters, this whole thing came to light, it appears, on Monday. Is that correct?
Yep.
Roughly. Monday.
Yeah, roughly.
Okay. So I'm gonna make a little ha-ha before I go into this, because God damn it, if you just put the straps on the Creed brothers like I predicted, this probably wouldn't have even come to light.
Thank you! Thank you! They deserve it! Ohio represent! They deserve it! But I digress.
It seems today that all you see, the Creed brothers should have won NXT.
She took the liberty to do this because he won gold.
Yep.
I don't even want to say this broad's name out loud. That's how little I think of her. But this seriously has Johnny Depp, Amber Heard written all over it.
100%. Yep.
No question.
And everybody jumped to Amber and her defense. And then we found out the truth of it all.
Yep.
And Johnny was the one pretty much being abused throughout the situation.
Yeah.
And Johnny's career has suffered and has not rebounded. He was even taken out of the last Fantastic Beasts movie.
Yeah.
Whereas she
even though he
is still having a successful career, coming to be in Aquaman 2 with Roman Reigns. I mean, Jason Momoa. The only reason for someone to do something like this, and I'm speaking from experience because I have known people to do stuff like this, is because they are petty ass bitches.
Yep.
Period.
Yep. End of sentence. That's it.
And I'm going to just add to that. Like, bro, we just got over, like, recently. Like, we haven't really talked about it, but it's actually worth bringing up again. We just got over the whole freaking Chris Rock, Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith debacle.
Oh, Lord.
And I bring that up because, but this is the main point here. We literally just saw it happen in living color. For the first time, I think, in human history, we've seen it, this type of abuse from Jada. I'm not excusing what Will did, but we finally see it in living color that women like this exist. Finally, after all this time, okay? And for a guy like me that's been abused that way, it's about goddamn time.
Agreed.
About goddamn time. Okay?
I agree.
So when you have
the stigma that a man cannot be physically, mentally, emotionally abused needs to die here right now.
Listen.
Because it's happened to me. You just admitted it's happened to you. I've seen it happen to Jeff.
Yep.
Listen.
I can't speak for you, Josh, or you, Noah, but that's more than half of the panel has had it happen to them personally.
God bless you three. # single man for life.
Yeah. Listen.
I am now. I'll tell you what.
Now listen. Here's another thing I want to add to this because it's a crucial point.
Yes.
Because it's now out in the open because of Jada Pinkett Smith and the way she treated Will Smith. All right. This is, for all intents and purposes, a situation that people are seeing, and they should have known something was up right off the bat. And I'm glad people are starting to realize that now. Granted, as Jeff said, should he have done the Nazi thing? No. But here's my argument to that. I'm not excusing the fact that he did it. However, we have a thing, especially in this culture now. Are you kidding me? Especially with social media, where we have gallows humor. We just do. People make jokes about really awful crap all the time. All the time. Or they recount stories about people that were just completely ignorant or something of that nature and literally said what they said verbatim in private conversations. I'm not going to say who for my person, but I literally had that happen this week, and it was the funniest crap I've ever heard in my life. Because you just don't believe it, until it happens. And then, people like to get a laugh.
100%.
That's all it was. He was trying to get a laugh out of her. It's clear as day.
And speaking to that, and I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to touch on that part of this too. But I distinctly remember, and if it looked like I wasn't paying attention while some of y'all were talking, it's because I was trying to look this up. But I can't find it anywhere on the webs, probably because it don't exist no more. It's kind of like Benoit and shit. You just don't know. But I distinctly remember seeing a Saturday Night Live sketch. And I forget who the actors were in the sketch. It would probably make it easier for me to look it up if I could remember that shit. But I can't honestly remember the last time I watched SNL because it just isn't funny.
No.
But I remember watching SNL within the last 15 years, we'll say.
Yeah.
And the skit was this guy and his wife. And he's basically going around with like an Osama bin Laden beard, wearing the whole turban and everything. His wife, normal as can be. And finally, the wife and the neighbors, because of how he looks, not trying to typecast, but looks like a terrorist, finally gets to him and they convince him to shave. So he goes in the bathroom, emerges with a Hitler mustache.
Oh, jeez.
So the whole joke is that he went from one extreme to another.
Right.
Gosh.
This
was literally presented on Saturday Night Live as humor.
Yeah.
Bro, there is like 10 times worse, by the way, than that.
Oh, yeah.
And this guy is getting crap for a ha-ha that he did in the privacy of his own home.
Yep.
Kimberly took this selfie.
I'm sorry. Well, if she took it, then it's not a selfie. It's supposed
right.
Well, you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Any man that has a mustache, 99% of the time has done that at some point, just as a ha-ha in the midst of their shave.
Yep.
Bro.
It doesn't mean that they support it. It's just a ho-ho look. No. Then they finish shaving. Boom, done.
You cannot convince me on God's green earth that Nash Carter is a sympathizer of that kind of ilk. You can't do it. There's no possible way that he is.
And like you brought up, and then they've got Gunther, but you're going to chastise him.
And listen, yes, they didn't know. They were ignorant to that. So if they were ignorant to that, who's to say they couldn't have been ignorant to this picture, Jeff? I mean, I'm just saying, maybe you didn't bring it up to them. That's always a possibility. And here's another thing. If for nothing else, how are you going to release this guy off a selfie that was supposed to be in the privacy of their own home when you yourself on live television said the N-word?
Right. Same reason they got taken out of the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
For saying
JJ, what would our favorite comedian say about ignorance? Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Just because you don't know, if you had a minor inkling, and again, he didn't get released until the Nazi picture apparently became a reality. But again, if you've got an inkling, there's domestic abuse. If you've got or some sort of not misdemeanor. What's the other word with an F? Help me out here.
Felony.
God, if there's some sort of felonious activity possibly involved, Velveteen Dream, even if he didn't do it, you take your hands off of that until it's all shining clean and pretty again, y'all. Putting that gold belt that's on this dude's shoulder in the picture. is a stupid thing to do if you've got any remote possibility of having to clean up a mess that he's literally shitting across your bed holding your championship belt.
You had the Creed brothers
in
the same match.
Yep.
Why didn't you give the belts to them? You knew this stuff was going on. Why on God's green earth you put the belt on them when you could have given it to the Creed brothers or kept it on Imperium? Because God forbid we know what the hell you did with them.
Hell,
because Bruce Pritchard.
Hell, give it to Gacy and his heavy.
Yeah.
They're so high on this Parker kid anyway. Put the fucking gold strap on him. Like seriously. Anyway, all right. I'm gonna lighten it up as we go as we close out here because there was a lot of good stuff this week too. So let me just go ahead and throw this one up here first.
Absolutely.
Because JJ made it a point to make sure I was going to talk about this, and I do want to talk about it because I am happy for them. Congrats to Leah and Matt, Corey Graves and Carmella. So again, as much as I am like, I'm on the Noah train caboose of, yep, single man for life. Woo woo. These two are in love, and it's sick, and it's gross, and they're cute, and it makes me want to vomit. But good on them. Like, for real. Like, I love it. I love that they found each other. I love that they didn't give a shit about the freaking stuff coming to light. Oh, he cheated. No, he did not cheat, you ignorant assholes, you. They were done separated, and they're happy, and they're married. And again, much like what happened last week with, I forget who it was that both parties were at, so forgive me for that, but WWE and AEW once again coming together for a greater good, because is there really any greater good if you are a fan of this particular institution than marriage, man? And Moxley actually showed up and actually was smiling. Jon Moxley smiled this week, folks. So let's just keep that in perspective. So happy again. Congrats to Matt and Leah, Carmella, Corey, whatever you want to call them. I'm happy for them, and I'm an old sentimental at heart. So
as far as I know, as far as I know, by the way, that Carmella is actually very good for Corey. She's not raging. She's not a raging one, we'll say.
No. And again, at least two of us in this room have gone from a raging lunatic of an ex to a much better situation nowadays, be it single, be it being with somebody else. So we get the raging, the raging ex. Yeah. So, but I think all of us can get behind the fact that this matchup is going to be even probably more awesome. This is going to be a thing on Wednesday.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's go.
World Television Championship. Minoru Suzuki, who I know Noah has, pardon the expression, a major for against Samoa effing Joe.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
That's professional wrestling, damn it!
Yeah, there it is. That's what I was going for. I appreciate that.
You know what? We need to get a solo shot of Noah doing that so that we can just bumper that into our shows.
Yes.
It'd be like the Great Cherry for Quizlemania routine that you have playing.
There you go.
We just need a little clip of Noah doing that, and we can just throw that in there.
Or the country redacted, right, Noah?
Country redacted. Although
fair enough, Josh. Fair enough.
That's it.
No, but I'm fucking serious about this. When I tell you right now, I am so damn pumped for this match. My most anticipated match next week. You have Minoru Suzuki, King of Pancrase. Over 2,000 matches in his historic career. For Pro Wrestling Noah, for New Japan Pro Wrestling, he's done all with everybody, you name it. Bowing down in respect, showing humanity to the man known as Jushin Thunder Liger at King of Pro Wrestling. Damn it, bring that show back, New Japan Pro Wrestling. Freaking Yano. That being said, his first freaking title that he won American soil, and his first defense against, of all freaking people, Samoa Joe, synonymous with Ring of Honor. Oh my God, the professional wrestling itself, commentary, just shut up. Let me hear the bone-on-bone impact. These two are literally going to try and kill each other. I couldn't be more excited for an exemplification of strong style that I'm going to get next week in the name of Ring of Honor World Television Championship Gold. Let's fucking go. This is why I love this business.
These are two of the toughest heavy hitters you will ever see in professional wrestling going one-on-one, and I can't effing wait for Wednesday.
Let me just say it one more time, then y'all can talk all you want. That's professional wrestling, damn it! But I digress.
If there was ever a night we wanted to have Noah on the call for a TV and not a pay-per-view, I think this is it.
You know, I haven't seen Joe since he came back at the ROH pay-per-view, but if they are not using the Godzilla intro for his theme
they
song,
are.
They are, dude.
Then it's an epic failure, because that just made Joe's theme wherever he was.
Absolutely. I mean, I believe they do like different variations of it, everybody that's done it, but they do the brr, 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 like some trombone bullshit, and then it's and then out comes Joe into some freaking like walking down monster beat. This is great.
So what I remember him using the most in his time at Gorilla is "The Champ is Here."
Yep.
Yeah. Go ahead. What you got, Josh?
We got to interview him back on the day on the XMV days as Ring of Honor World Champion, and he got over his pink keychain more than he got over the championship or the companies. I'm just going to throw it out there. Look it up if you can find it. God bless Joe. We love Joe. Almost everybody in our circle loves Joe, and actually, she's not really in our circle, so everybody in our circle loves Joe.
That's right.
Anyway, hope you're watching, you silly person. Anyway, no, I don't. Anyway.
Keep rolling.
That's it. If you know, you know. If you don't, I'm in trouble. Anyway. So Monday, of course, is our usual schedule resuming. We'll be JJ and I'll be on with Ask the Dads. That's at 7:00 Eastern 4 Pacific, right before, if you dare, the 3-hour broadcast on Monday Night Raw. If you do, God bless you, because you are a crazy person and we love you, crazy people.
We got JJ. Hold on, we got JJ trying to make an announcement, I think.
I'll say really quickly before you move on to the next one, I did want to make that retraction that I made on that I need to make from this week's Ask the Dads.
Oh,
if
yes.
You still have that image loaded?
I don't, but
figure? Okay.
Yeah, don't test it.
So this past week on Ask the Dads, I gave my diatribe about the Dominic Mysterio custody ladder match, action figure that they were going to be releasing. And in my statement, I said that they weren't even making it a build-a-figure option. He was just going to be an accessory with Ray. I have since discovered that is not accurate. They are, in fact, doing it as a build-a-figure, and I'm not sure if that makes it any better, because that means in one of the 4 packs... Hold on. That means in one of the 4 packs, there's going to be a severed child's head floating around.
I was gonna say
no one we need him.
I'm not really sure if that makes things better or worse.
Yeah, they should have just made Dominic like a bobblehead just to sell the comicalness of it.
Well, like I said, it was like it at least would have made sense if they had done a Ray and Eddie Dominic with a ladder, made it a whole big package. That at least still wouldn't have liked it because the angle they were making money on, but at least it would have
make Vicky the accessory. There you go.
Oh,
Lord! It would have made sense.
God damn it! Where the fuck was Vicky?
But I just wanted to come and cover the fact that I was incorrect in that it is a build-a-figure thing that they're doing with the 4.
Yay.
Correct myself there. You may proceed, Jeff.
In that vein, James, whatever show I get to do, the next show I do is Ask the Dads. In that vein of a Build-A-Figure category, on Mondays, Ask the Dads, I will give you exactly what you've been looking for all these years, James. I will give you Vince McMahon's head on a platter.
Ooh, okay. Okay, you got me ready. You got me ready for this. Okay.
Okay.
Like, we went figure shopping for Dylan's birthday, and the Build-A-Figure is Vince McMahon as an announcer, and Vince McMahon's head's on my desk. I'm just gonna leave it at that. We'll go ahead and show that on Monday.
We really need
ridiculous
for this.
But I seriously, I saw that, and at first I thought, okay, cool, I can actually have Vince McMahon figure out. The second thought was, I gotta show this to James because I have Vince's head on a platter. It just has to be a thing now. So I'm gonna find like an old Jack's cookie sheet or something. Just go, here you go. All right. Anyway, Talk Wrestling, of course, the flagship. I've been doing this shit for 15 years. God help me in July. It's just becoming bonkers that I've been doing this craziness this long with all you crazy people. But I love it, and I get to be on the 4 channels that I've been a part of for so many years, and I'm so happy that I get to continue to do my thing each and every week. So that's going to be coming up on Tuesday. Of course, Wednesday we have our usual fare over in the Greg Cherry brand, if it'll go, which it won't because it's being that way. There it goes. Again, the Greg Cherry Show, Wednesday nights, every Wednesday on the Jeff Meacham Network. And, of course, the Greg Cherry brand, because without the Greg Cherry brand, there is no Greg Cherry Show. Without Greg Cherry, there's neither one. So that kind of defeats the purpose.
Thank you, Josh, for showing the T-shirt.
Yes.
Indeed,
I have to let me give Josh some love here, because that might be the greatest Greg Cherry shirt that doesn't have any of our own names on it. Because, man, that is the ever-loving truth, Mr. Mansfield. God bless you for it.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
I will always say I am a big Greg Cherry mark.
I still want to get the Jeff Can't Count
I
one.
have become a Greg Cherry mark in the years when Greg Cherry started out as a Jeff Meacham and an XMV and Talk Wrestling mark. So I am here for Greg Cherry all day long, twice on Sunday. Freaking just a great guy. Thursday, we're going to get a little I'm kind of at somebody else's whim here. And I say that because, yes, I am welcoming WWE Hall of Fame daughter, Jenny Santana, the general manager of Ultimate Women Wrestling, which is having the debut show coming up on May 21st. But I've been told repeatedly that she's not going to be on this show by herself. And if you've been following my socials all week, and actually ever since she's been on the show with me last month, JJ's been keeping up with it. I've been getting the comments. There are a lot of people on this roster that I've worked with, that I'm friends with. And I don't even know what's going to happen on this show Thursday. I don't like being in the dark. Y'all know I'm a control freak. I'm not happy about this.
Jeff
but
just wants to talk to, I want to see Shaul Guerrero and Christina Von Eerie show up with Jenny Santana.
Yes. Yeah.
Because Jeff has history. And then,
honestly,
you've already got a Santana to have a Guerrero too.
There you go. Yeah. I say get Shaul Guerrero on and ask her about this Rey Mysterio Dominic figure thing, because she's got to have an opinion on that.
Please. If she shows up, you have to bring that up and get her opinion.
What do you think of Dominic Guerrero?
Shit.
No. Not even ask what you think of him. Just what do you think of this action figure?
What do you think of this Dominic Guerrero action figure?
Don't ask Guerrero.
She just looks at you. She just looks at you, Stonefaced, like, why do you say that shit?
Get the worst stink eye possible.
Yes. Hey,
and
she can't say anything worse than what Corny said.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, Joe.
I will say this. I told JJ about this. Her and her troupe, the Vaudettes, who are, I guess the best qualification is burlesque dancers. They don't actually show the goodies because that's just not going to happen on a cruise like that. But they're in Chris Jericho and Fozzie's new video, and they do a very good job being the accessory to the main point. It's a great video. Go check it out. It's all over Jericho's social media and Fozzie's and even hers and the Vaudettes. So looking forward to seeing Shaul if she's there Thursday. If not, Christina Von Eerie. If not, actually, there's a lot of people on this roster I'm looking forward to seeing or seeing again. So going to be a cool time. The next day.
In the world of music videos, Jeff, they're called video vixens.
Video vixens. Thank you. Yes. They are. They are very much the video vixens of this new video by Fozzy. So please go check it out. Give Fozzy some love. Give the Vaudettes some love. Give Jericho love, because damn it, he's the GOAT. We love Chris Jericho. The 15th, and it's actually in pre-production now. It will be uploaded by Monday. The Dads, not always on wrestling, will have 2 shows next week, because our usual show will be on Friday the 15th, tax day, / Jackie Robinson Day in the world of baseball. So it'll be our JJ and My's top 10 all-time favorite baseball players. that is what's coming up this week. Of course, we've got coverage of Rebellion that we talked about earlier. We've got all kinds of things on the horizon. Statboy Rants is back. The dads will be having our top 10 Backlash matches episodes. There's just a lot of shit going on. James, I was not able to get your thing to load because my computer hates my guts. So whatever you like to plug that you sent me, please throw it out there for the world, my friend.
Okay, so at the very least, everyone, I want you to go and check out a video on my Twitter. It's also on my YouTube in 2 separate versions. One just with the intro itself and me introducing the intro. Everybody knows about Deadlock. Maybe not everybody knows, but as far as I know, people are at least now aware because I've been promoting it like a muggerfather. DPW. I did. That's got to be a part of my vocabulary, I think.
As it should be. God bless Eric Bischoff for making that a part of my vocabulary. Damn it, Bischoff, I love you. Anyway, carry on.
Deadlock Pro Wrestling. For those who don't know what this indie fed is, basically, if you are familiar with New Legacy Inc., New Legacy Inc. started doing YouTube basically because of No DQ CAW. New Legacy Inc. Has done tremendous stuff for the community. He's actually one of the more positive influences of the IWC. So that's to tell you all you need to know to go subscribe to New Legacy Inc. But I digress. You should also check out his associates of the Deadlock Boys, which are James Darnell, a.k.a. CM Pulse, and Anthony Douglas, a.k.a. Tony Pizza Guy. All 3 of them have started a promotion called Deadlock Pro Wrestling. It is already, and I'm not even kidding when I say this, has already had some of the best matches that I have seen in pro wrestling so far. I seriously highly check this out. They've got Calvin Tankman in there. They got JTG there. They've got Kid Bandit there. They got Bojack there, who's their current world champion, who might as well be a clone of Calvin Tankman, which I want to see that damn match. Deadlock, book it. Anyway, definitely check them out. They've got an incredible roster for an upstart promotion. I'm so excited to see what Deadlock is going to be producing in the future. I watch every week. I encourage everybody to watch it every week as well. I actually created an intro for them because I listened to their podcast, and specifically they said what they wanted was a mix of the SmackDown Attitude Era lyrics. I changed them a little bit. Where it's everybody on the ground, DP Dub is in town because their whole gimmick is the boys are back in town. So that's what I did, and I added my own twist to it. So if you haven't checked out the intro, it's on my Twitter. Literally right here. There's my name right here. That's my Twitter. Go follow me and retweet. Anybody that's seeing this video right now, retweet that. The more interactions that gets, the more chance for any of those big-time YouTubers to see it, because I really think that this intro could be their intro for the future. Right now, it's a custom intro. Would love for that to change. You guys can help for that. James's intro for DP Dub.
What's his name on Twitter? There's his name, bitch. Anyway,
exactly.
All right, guys. And again, JJ. Yes, I saw your hand up, sir. Go ahead, please. Yes.
Just subscribe to both YouTube channels and retweeted your video.
Much appreciated. And that means I can actually follow you, JJ, because I was trying to find your thing and I couldn't.
It's okay. I don't post much on the Twitter anyway, so.
Fair enough. I appreciate it.
I mainly stick to Instagram, but you asked, so I looked you up and retweeted it.
Oh, by the way, this is the big selling point. I can't believe I forgot to mention this up because it was in promo mode. I rap in the song.
Oh, geez.
Oh boy!
So there you go. You're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it.
James is gonna rival Max Caster and John Cena.
Wait, what? Wait, what? No. Is that for real? Are you serious?
Except we can actually see James.
Damn.
That's true. I have a face.
That big old saggy beard.
I do have a face for radio. I can't lie.
Oh.
We can see Cena now that he's out of the ring, like Rocky.
I mean, he's the host of Wipeout. You gotta see him somewhere.
Yes.
4 of us have the face for video. That's why one of us is just using his little producer image, and then one of the 5 of us actually has the voice for radio. Noah, take it away.
You did, JJ. You did for that one.
All right. Well, that was random.
Before Noah goes, I have to put this out there. Hey, Corey,
what am I doing?
Congratulations on locking down a very, very great and attractive woman. Hopefully, will give you a lot of happiness. Now make up with Mauro Ranallo, and I'll actually defend you. Anyway.
Hello. Good night, everybody. That's it.
Go ahead, Noah.
All right. I don't know what to really say after that. Well, that was something, James. Thanks, Segway Man. Folks, again, you want to know more about me? Know this. I'm just a simple man, a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it! God bless the goodness in this industry, but I digress. Find me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at mfoster1916 for all things wrestling. Shout out to AEW crew on Twitter. And again, I'll continue bringing you play-by-play coverage of the Jeff Meacham Network. Forever humbled to be a part of this wrestling family and community. We'll be back to continue the predictions games, and more open mic nights, I'm sure, too, with this panel of fun, wholesome folks, and who knows, maybe others, too. I'll also be doing continued Rampage coverage on the Daily Slam, so follow the Daily Slam on YouTube and at Dayslam 2022 on Twitter. And as always, again, next time I'll be back here will likely be then, where we preview and predict Impact Wrestling's Rebellion. And yes, we will have a live watch along as well. Jeff Meacham, thank you for the plugs. Saturday, April 21st, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Time. And yes, Impact Wrestling Rebellion is only available on pay-per-view via the Fight Network app. As always, folks, there are no winners, there are no losers, there are no bears. Just fans. Fans. Indifferent or not. With all opinions for this passion we all share. At the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your freaking mentality. And maybe your virginity. And just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. Simple as that.
I didn't expect that. Oh my God.
Okay. Noah. All right. So no, we're going to get your quote at the end, but I do want to give JJ the chance to plug what we've been talking about throughout the night on the green board, but we're going to put the blue board up now to talk about what we can have next month if you guys are so generous throughout the rest of this month. JJ, take it away.
Yes. As we alluded to earlier in the show and we've been discussing all week, if you guys can help us get to $100 in Super Chat donations.
You can torture me. You can torture me. You can torture my soul. I will have to call Backlash. I don't know why you all did this to me. I can't believe I misspoke, but I'm doing it because it's a funny rib, even though I'm self-deprecating in some way. I have to call Backlash. You donate. If this is not a hard sell, I don't know what is. You want to torture me? Donate to the Jeff Meacham Network, because that means I have to call this shitty P show. There you go.
Wow, James, tell us how you really feel about WWE product.
I do every day.
So we need to have JJ sell. That works too. Okay.
JJ, go ahead. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
I can't even stop laughing now. As I was saying before, I was so famously interrupted.
There you go.
Jeff Meacham, Lord of the Network, why have you forsaken me?
Oh my God. Take 3.
Take 42, what?
Go ahead.
Once again, if you guys can get us to $100 worth of donations by April 30th in Super Chats, then yes, we will do the watch along for WrestleMania Backlash Sunday, May 8th with our commentary team, Noah and James, as well as myself and Jeff and whoever else may decide to pop in.
There you go.
We're already almost halfway there. As we touched on earlier, thanks to the Stat Boy coming in, giving that shout out, Dwayne Atkinson has given 35 of that $45 on his own since Monday.
Yes. I know exactly why he did that.
So keep it up, guys. You know, unfortunately, we didn't see any super chats come in today. I have a feeling it's just because of the lateness of the broadcast, much like Talk Wrestling on Tuesday.
Yes.
But hopefully come Monday, we will get some more donations. Hopefully we'll get some more on the Greg Cherry Show, which goes at 4 o'clock. Hopefully we'll get some more when Jeff interviews Jenny Santana and whoever she brings with him, much like he got a donation yesterday during his Mariah Moreno interview. we're already almost half the way there, much to James's chagrin.
Do it. Do it.
So,
we're not doing this Lord Sith bullshit. No.
Do it.
No.
Give in to your dark ambition. Let the hatred grow inside you.
What do you mean? I've been doing that for the last 15 years on YouTube with this piece of shit, Vince.
The almighty power of Darth McMahon.
If we get to it, then James may have to tell us the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise. Anyway.
Oh, no, that's more of a Mike Marr thing.
As Jeff said, let me just go ahead and get the shill out there as he did earlier. I'm looking forward to doing Ask the Dads the rest of the month. Looking forward to the top 10 baseball players next Friday. Looking forward to the top 10 backlash matches at the end of the month. Those two shows got canned so quickly, so easily. The flow was so beautiful. You know, for whatever reason, not that me and Jeff don't have fun when we do the shows, because we always have a blast, but those three shows just seem to flow so good that we're genuinely excited to see them reach the viewing public and get the feedback, because we feel like they were three of our best shows since we came back May the 4th, 2020.
Nice.
So definitely looking forward to those. We've got plenty of content that hasn't been canned but is already ready to go. 2 shows in May featuring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in honor of his 50th birthday next month.
Unfreaking believable.
The man is 50 now. I feel
May 2nd will be his 50th birthday.
Damn, you say that now. I just feel gross.
Look at
me and look at him.
I'm half his age. Oh gosh.
Yeah, I'm fat.
Wow. Okay, that was random.
I mean, I am. That's true. Yeah. Anyway, continue.
So, are we done? Okay, I lost track of what the hell we were doing because it was just random. Okay, but before I go to the last plugs, I have a question. Noah, when did Gollum from Lord of the Rings become a Dark Lord of the Sith?
I don't recall a crossover with those universes. I would say never.
Because you sounded like Gollum more than you did Palpatine. I was just asking a question.
Palpatine,
yeah. The microphone.
In fairness, he was doing an impersonation of Game Grumps' interpretation of Palpatine.
Very good. There you go.
And method acting. We'll just call it that. I'm not an impromptu guy. I'm a play-by-play guy.
As you should be, damn it. It's all good. So again, I'm gonna do the merch shill just because I'm the only one that wants to. We're on Pro Wrestling Tees, which I'm excited about. I know there's a lot of back and forth on Pro Wrestling Tees, but they are having a sale through the end of Monday, where you can take 20% off everything, 30% off New Japan stuff, and you can buy that very shirt right now on Pro Wrestling Tees. If you want the rest of the Jeff Meacham Network lineup, including Talk Wrestling, including Meachamania, including the Dads, Not Always on Wrestling, including the brand new Renegades Rules t-shirt, which has the tremendous 4 rules that JJ lives by in the Disney font, as it should be on the back, damn it. Piper font on the front because it should be, damn it.
That's right. Keep moving forward. Yes. Reindeers are better than people. Ducks fly together. And God damn it, we talk about Bruno.
That's right.
Quack, motherfucker.
Martino.
Quack.
But anyway, those are all on Teespring still for now. We are working on other outlets, Greg and I, for our merchandise because, well, that's just what we need to do. So we're going to close this out with something that I think we could all, regardless if you're a T-shirt purchase person, regardless if you are a Vince McMahon fan, regardless if you are a fan of anything you saw here tonight, we are going to close out with the one thing that we can agree on that Noah knows better than anybody, and that is...
That's professional wrestling! Damn it!
The precious! We will see you all Monday on Ask the Dads. Have a great night, everybody.
There you go.
Fuck Bill Belichick.
Oh, God, man!
Oh, my God!
Go there! I had to do the friggin' football thing. We got it on wrestling, and then you bring in that shit. That's just how the fan goes off the damn rails. Brilliant! Bloody brilliant!
We're not going to peek after this.
Close the show with Noah's phrase. It was there.
And then,
God damn it, y'all!
Really?
No, it's fine. It's fine. Just go.
Really?
It's great. It's great.
Really?
Jeff,
I'm just gonna hit the button. Good night,
No,
kids.
JJ.
Before you hit the button, I got to
Yes.
take it back with this. We've done gone butt fucky. Good night, everybody.
Comment simple as that.
We'll see y'all Monday if we survive the week.